Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
I'm Chris Hughes.
And I'm Bobby Trippett.
And today we're going to be talking about 1995's The Ice Cream Man.
Hard than soft serve, boys. Hard than soft serve.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
This bookie got no real coach.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
You could have redeemed him once in a while. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamy.
Guys, before we get into the movie today, let's take a listen to the trailer.
There are no bad days here at Wishing Well, only happy days.
Open wide, Gregory.
It is a happy day. Now he's out, rehabilitated with a brand new job.
Here you go.
I'd like to buy a gallon of your hard pack.
Next. You didn't say please.
Did you see Little Roger Smith today? He was at the park. Why?
We got a missing kid.
His ice cream has a secret ingredient.
What the hell is that ice cream dork doing out this late? What's your favorite flavor?
Wow. Always so kind to the little children.
I brought you something special.
Ooh. Sounds yummy.
There's something weird going on here. Hiya, honey. Not every day is a happy day.
Spent the last 20 at some private clinic called Wishing Well for the mentally disturbed.
We believe in compassion. Shut up! It's the Wishing Well Hospital. Get some people down here quick. No one leaves the Wishing Well. Doctor's orders.
Even with a head start, there's no escape. You can run, but you can't hide from the Ice Cream Man.
Let us pray.
Starring Olivia Hussey, Jan Michael Vincent, Sandal Bergman, David Naughton, David Warner, and Clint Howard as the Ice Cream Man.
This is gonna be fun.
Great trailer.
Wow, amazing trailer.
Yeah.
Man. Way to reveal everything.
I know.
It's like they showed the whole movie in 5 minutes.
Just watch that instead of listening to this podcast. Huh? So, guys, this movie to me, this is... Oh, by the way, welcome to part one of our second year of the Halloween Spectacular 5000.
The Grindbin Halloween Spectacular for Difference 5000.
Yes, this is week 1 of 2.
Yeah.
In part 2...
Of the first ever last annual.
You didn't know this was one of our Halloween picks?
No.
Yeah, this and the next week's movie, which is much more spooky than this one. The spookiest.
Oh.
Until Chester Novell Turner makes another movie, we can't have our grand finale.
You met the man who knows Chester very well.
I met the man who's let Chester sleep on his couch.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only requirement was he had to dress up like a clown. So
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get Chester to make another movie. I hear he's trying to make Quadhead Zone the TV series, so maybe that'll work out.
Yeah. Quadhead Zone 2.
They'll probably put it on one of these cable channels. I mean, why not?
Quadhead Zone Clowning Around.
It'll pop up on Shudder. Netflix. Oh, yeah, Shudder Original.
Oh, sorry, guys. They already have those.
Yep, that's happening.
They already have those.
Shudder produces horror movies.
Actually, I've been watching a lot of good stuff on Shudder.
Shut up.
Recently.
No,
No,
you
I
haven't.
really have.
There's only like 8 movies.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
have-
what you're talking
They
about.
have very good...
What did you do with the rest of your afternoon?
I watched the one movie they put on a month. I go, well, that was worth my $4. And then next month, I watched the other movies. So.
Yeah, more like shitter.
They put on a lot of Giallo movies on there right now, and they're actually pretty
That's
cool.
actually cool. I like Giallo
All
movies.
right, I'll pull it back.
You're okay, Shudder.
I'll
pull it back.
I won't. You can't speed through those. You have to watch them at regular speed. But fucking Shudder's unwatchable that way.
So this movie, to me, though, holds a little bit of a special meaning to me because this was the movie that got me into bad movies.
Of course, this is a Mike pick. Mike, explain yourself.
because this is the bad movie. This is like when I realized that you could find some real horrible treasures in that Blockbuster bargain bin. This one, though, I ordered from Suncoast Video. Does anybody remember Suncoast?
Absolutely.
Yep. You couldn't find this for sale in the store. You could find it for rent. Obviously, you guys have said you've all seen the cover of this movie for rent.
Oh, it was a mainstay in video stores.
Yes.
But to order the movie, I had to go to Suncoast Video, which I'm sure everybody else had Suncoast Videos. I don't know if it was only a California thing or not. But you went in the mall and you looked through that big book of VHS tapes they had, and you ordered yourself a copy, and then 3 weeks later, they'd call you up and go, "Hey, we got you a copy of what's this called? Ice Cream Man."
Anyway, come give us our $45.
Yeah, for $45 later, I got my copy, and boy, did I love it.
Question for you, Mike. So did you see this before the van then?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. This was when I was in a junior in high school.
Wow.
Maybe
Yeah, we'd be
sophomore
like
in high school.
11 when this came out.
Man,
Oh, I fucking love this movie.
you don't realize how close we were to every episode ending with, "Now, how does the Ice Cream Man fit into this?" Do you hear that sound, you guys?
No, so this was a movie I watched with friends. We thought it was hilariously bad, and then I would later go on to buy my VHS copy of Head of the Family, if anybody's seen that.
Wow.
Dr. Giggles, and others 90s bad direct-to-video VHS horror movies. So the little bit of the background of this movie, the first draft of the script written in 3 days.
That's
What they do with the rest of their afternoon?
The movie.
You mean they went away for a weekend and came back with a script?
Yeah.
We don't know they were writing for 3 days.
They went away for the weekend with a bag of white stuff and came back to the script.
I was going to say.
The
Columbia?
movie was... Yeah, Columbia, the movie company, as well as the country.
Yeah. It was a Columbia House for sure.
Zing, zing.
Boo.
The movie was intended to be more of a spoof in the earlier screenplay, and then they're like, let's take it serious, guys.
Oh, man.
It's like what happened to Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah, they were like...
Where it was supposed to be a send-up of slasher movies, and someone didn't get that memo and played it straight the whole time?
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Because
boy.
there are multiple times where Clint Howard is just hamming it up, and they're like, yep, this is deadly serious. I think so.
Yeah.
The filmmakers originally wanted to make this movie PG-13.
Well, that's not going to work.
Absolutely insane.
That would explain the music in this movie, because during some of the silliest shit, we've got the Candyman soundtrack
Yeah,
playing.
that's
over
right,
this
yeah.
thing. I'm like, did Philip Glass score the Ice Cream Man?
Great, yeah.
It was kind of awesome.
It was cool. I love
but
it, yeah.
it really didn't fit, though.
No.
This, along with Mikey, which is another 90s movie.
Love it.
Mikey, by the way, if you haven't watched that one.
We got to get Brian Bonsall on the show.
Oh, by the way, I should mention that we're not eating it now except for Bobby himself, but he did bring everybody ice cream in honor of today's episode.
Yes.
I'll take a picture and put it out on our social media.
And it was very nice of you, Bobby. I
Yes,
ate
very
about
good.
5 bites, and it's going to get me through this.
Well, we got to get in the mood, man. We got to be feeling that.
We're going to find out if my lactose intolerant is gone or still here with me.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Whoops. That's a little key for the future.
This episode's going to turn up.
So this is alleged from IMDb trivia. Alleged, because I do not fucking believe this. Once again, anybody can write IMDb trivia. I'm still waiting for one of our listeners to write on the Vans IMDb trivia that there's a podcast out there that references it every episode, and that would be very nice of you to do that. So somebody wrote on this IMDb trivia page that this movie was sponsored in part by the Converse Shoe Company, and that's why many characters are wearing Chuck Taylors.
Chuck Taylors aren't that fucking expensive. Come on.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure those were Clint's Chucks.
like they just bought those because they were the cheapest wardrobe shoes they could find. There's also an extraordinary number of shots of shoes throughout the entire film, is what they write. So that's probably
that didn't stand out to me.
well.
I mean, there's a lot of people hiding under things, so you're kind of forced to see shoes. But
Yeah.
I didn't really think like,
That's
oh
a
man,
good
this
point.
is a shoe-heavy movie.
Yeah.
That's why I said alleged. Alleged.
Yeah.
And then also, this is a real one, though. In October 2014, there was a Kickstarter campaign to try to reboot this and make another one.
Clint himself was working hard. He had an idea for a movie called Ice Cream Man 2 Sunday Bloody Sunday.
It's great.
He was looking for $300,000. He made about $3,000.
He couldn't even get his brother? Like, Ron
man.
Howard wouldn't even just give him a fucking penny, a.k.a. $300,000. Go, you know what, Clint? It's all right. We'll make your movie.
Ron, it's Clint again. I hope you get this. You must be busy.
Like, fuck you, Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, the amount
That's
of money
the
that guy
takeaway
has.
from this episode. Fuck you, Ron Howard.
You and your fucking teeth.
I mean,
Yeah.
one
Fuck
of
you and your
these-
stupid hat.
One of the fucking pilots he's produced costs less money than his brother's movie he wants to make, and he couldn't even send him one donation.
Maybe there's a stipulation, like he wanted Ron Howard to narrate it.
He's like, Ron, if I get 300,000, you'll direct it, right?
I'll check it out.
No, the director of this movie is Paul Norman.
Yeah.
But he goes by Norman Epstein in the credits. That's because this is the only movie he ever directed that was a narrative. Everything else he's ever done, well, he has 126 credits.
Uh-oh.
And 125 of them are not the Ice Cream Man.
Would you say his favorite Muppet is Gonzo?
His career spanned from 1985 to 2001, 126 movies he directed, with such titles as By and Beyond, The Ultimate Sexual Union, Joined, The Siamese Twins, The Midas Touch. That's just the name of it. If you can't tell, this man directed 125 pornos.
Oh my God.
Let me read off a couple more of them for you.
Please.
Hunchback of the Notre Dame. Just kind of rearrange the words.
That left something to be desired.
Imagine if a fucking kid like some parents like, oh, this one seems good. I love the Hunchback.
Man, that song in the middle is so beautiful.
I can just see like a YouTube Google gone wrong.
This
Same
next
kind of
one's-
clamshell box for the VHS though.
This next was a real classic. Edward Penis Hands 1, 2, and 3.
Oh man.
He directed all those. Pornorama, which is a clever play there.
Did he do Playmate of the Apes? Because that's a staple in my high school.
Not that I know.
That
Chris.
got passed around.
Oh, jeez. That term for a porno.
Several things did.
Sticky tapes, huh? Could barely even fit in the VHS player after a while.
The door just stuck open.
Your dad just like, Chris, the VCR isn't playing anymore. The door's stuck open again.
Something about Dr. Laius.
No, but he did direct The Erotic Adventures of the Three Musketeers, as well as the Sexual Olympics 1 and 2, Never Neverland, which really disturbed me that there was a porno version of Peter Pan. Take the A Train, which I don't imagine is referencing the jazz classic. Don't think that's a Count Basie one. Just, I don't know.
They spent a lot of time in the tunnel.
Yes, they did. Hitting those brown notes.
Time in the caboose.
Intercourse with the Vampire, which
Classic.
is a real amazing play on words there. Bitches in Heat, Part 1, Locked in the Basement.
Is that the sequel to Dogs?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Part 1, locked in the basement.
Yes, Part 1, so they're already in the basement. I wonder what Part 2 was.
It's like an R. Kelly thing.
Bitches in Heat, Part 2. I don't know.
Back to the basement.
Their living room.
Yeah, we're moving up.
To the living room. And his last movie was Sperm Bitches in 2001.
Now, is there a comma after sperm?
Sperm, comma, bitches.
Sperm, bitches.
No, just one word, so they're a bunch of sperm bitches. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I'd have stopped there too.
Yeah, in 2001 he called it quits. There was
It was hard to get hard after 9/11.
Oh boy. You know what? You're right, Chris. There was 2 writers on this movie. Can you believe that?
That 3?
What did the second one do?
Okay, so here's what. Writer 1 is named Sven Davison, which that's not a real person. That's his only writing credit.
Nobody's named Sven.
But writer 2 of 2 is David Dobkin. Now, David Dobkin is sort of a heavy hitter. This was his only writing credit, but he is much more known for directing, starting with 1998's Clay Pigeons, 2003 Shanghai Nights, 2005 Wedding Crashers, 2007 Fred Claus, which he also produced, 2011 The Change Up, which he also produced, 2014 The Judge, and he has the story credit and executive producer credit on 2013's R.I.P.D.
Oh, man.
God.
Jesus
The
Christ.
story credit.
The story was so good in that movie.
This was his idea.
He then went on to produce the reboot of the Vacation franchise.
Oh, the one nobody saw?
Yeah, and he's currently working as the executive producer on a TV show called Into the Badlands.
Worth pointing out, this guy also couldn't slide Clint a couple $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's
no
working
friends
on,
in Hollywood that Clint Howard.
He's working on Wedding Crashers 2 right now, so he's.
They're going back. That movie's like
that's
15
what it's called.
years old.
Wedding Crashers 2.
Yeah, what is this, Blade Runner?
They're going back. This movie is 15 years old.
That would get my ass in the seat.
The cast of this movie: Clint Howard. Really, I mean, no introduction needed. He's not a Grindbin All-Star yet, but he is today. He plays Gregory, or just the Ice Cream Man. He is Ron Howard's brother, obviously, if you don't know. He has 239 acting credits.
He started young, like 6 for
1967, Gentle Ben. He was on every episode of that on the TV show. He started alongside Dennis Weaver from Duel, if you've ever seen that.
Nice. Yeah.
He was the kid in that, every episode of the show. 1979, Rock and Roll High School. 1989, he was in Tango and Cash. 1991, Backdraft, a little Ron Howard joint. 1991, he was in The Rocketeer, which I found highly ironic, considering stuff in this movie. 1995, Apollo 13. 1998, The Waterboy. 1998, The Dentist 2. I only wrote that down because he played the character of Mr. Toothache, which I thought was a great name. 2005, Cinderella Man. 2007, he was in Halloween. Oh, and Hughes is showing me now he was in a very, very early episode of Star Trek as himself as a child.
Wow. The original series?
There is a picture of him as an adult reenacting that, if you look below. Wow. He is currently working on about 6 movies, and guess what, guys? He's appearing in the Han Solo movie.
Oh, man.
Well, do you know why?
Because his brother's directing it. Do you think he's like, guys, this is really awkward, but I told my brother Clint if I ever got to direct a Star Wars movie, I would cast him as Han. Is that still a possibility? Or
they've cast Han? Oh, man, the fans are gonna be so disappointed when Boba Fett takes off his helmet.
Yeah.
I can't imagine who he is in the Han Solo movie.
He's no use to be dead.
He's obviously just a fucking bartender.
He's going to play young Bib Fortuna. It's going to be Clint Howard with his head wrapped around his own neck. Being like, Daiwanawanga.
Oh, totally.
I'd love that.
This is, by the way, one of the only 2 movies that he started. And apparently, to prepare himself for the role, he would scream and yell at the top of his lungs while driving to set every day.
Oh, so that's how he got his voice.
Incidentally,
really
that's also how he prepared himself to go to the store.
Yeah.
Could you imagine driving
to leave
around,
the house at all?
Driving around Los Angeles, seeing Clint Howard going,
You pull up at an intersection, you look over at a Datsun, there's Clint Howard.
Like the Sam Kinison School of Acting.
Definitely a dot. Okay, so Justin Isfeld, who plays Johnny or Racer, pick one.
The movie can't.
He only has 15 credits, but I wrote this down because he's most well known for being in every single American Pie movie because he's the fucking guy who started the word MILF.
Really?
He's the MILF guy from American Pie.
No kidding.
So you can thank the kid from Ice Cream Man.
You know, the director of Ice Cream Man probably thanks that kid. You extended my career, kid.
Andy McAfee. Andy McAfee, I believe that's how you pronounce it, plays Heather. She has 82 credits on IMDb, but not known much for an actress. She's known much more as a voiceover actress, including 1997. She was in the show Recess and the Recess movie. She plays the character of Ashley. Around Land Before Time 5, which they've made about 20, she took over as the voice of Sarah. So apparently the lady was just like, fuck this. And she was like, oh,
I gotta do how many of these?
Wasn't Whoopi the voice of Sarah?
We're not very versed on Whoopi Goldberg.
Do not remember that.
And the Hughes Clues.
I think you're thinking of Theodore Rex.
Yeah. She's in a lot of video games, including Saints Row and Mass Effect 1 and 2 and many more. And she's also the announcer on every single episode of The Soup from 2007 to 2015. If you ever watch that show, I
can now hear her voice.
She's the lady in the beginning of the show.
Did she also say so meaty?
That's her.
That's probably her.
So meaty.
So meaty.
JoJo Adams, who plays, that's his name.
Big bad JoJo.
By the way, JoJo is one word, and both J's are capitalized, which I really love.
That's fantastic. That looks good on a Tiger Beat cover.
JoJo Adams, Tuna. It's the character name.
Whose character's name is actually Chris. No, for real.
Yeah.
It's mentioned once in the movie.
Only 5 credits. Nothing you've heard of before. But after this, he was in 1997's direct-to-video Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves as Ricky King, Party Bully.
By the way, I
Mikey-
want to point out that Tuna's last name, as shown in the credits, is Casara.
Yeah.
So we're doing a pun name?
Oh, of course we are. This ice cream man. Come on now. Mikey LeBeau, who plays Small Paul, who's my favorite character. 6 credits. Now, I call him in my notes Fake Macaulay.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was Macaulay.
Yeah.
Get this. 1995, the first thing he was ever in is called Playing Dangerous, which also has a sequel. It's a direct-to-video ripoff of Home Alone.
Yeah.
And it's the tagline of the movie says, "In the tradition of Home Alone." On the VHS box. In the German VHS version, I can't read German, but it says something like, "You've seen Kevin, now check out Mikey."
Wow.
And the other tagline on the American is, "When his mom said to go outside and play, she didn't exactly have this in mind."
So he was trying to follow Macaulay Culkin's trajectory until, like, he didn't get weird looking. And then he's like, well, guess this party's over.
Yeah.
This
Well-
train just derailed.
Obviously, some producer saw him walk into an office one day. He goes, "Are you that kid from Home Alone?" And he's like, "No." And he goes, "That's great."
All right, question 2. Are you the rich kid from the Little Rascals? No?
No?
Great.
Okay, perfect. We're going to make a movie like Home Alone. In fact, we'll put that on the cover. In the tradition
I like
of...
the tradition. Like, like it's some legacy.
Tradition of Home Alone. He was also in 1995's Lord of Illusions as, quote, exercised boy.
Oh, shit.
He did the Linda Blair role in that one. And his last credit was Playing Dangerous 2 in 1996.
Still Dangerous?
He called it quits. It's not called Still Dangerous.
Damn
but
it.
God, that would have been perfect.
Even Dangerouser?
Grindbin All-Star. Sandal Bergman from Stewardess School, who plays the wrestler in Stewardess School. She's Tuna's mom in this
All
movie.
right.
She's in it for 2 scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Andrea Evans, who plays Wanda, the town mistress, as I put.
Oh, she's great.
Really a leftover from those porno movies. Don't you
Oh,
think?
yeah.
There's a lot of times where the porn kind of creeps into this movie in small ways, and you're just like, oh no, this is going down a road that I'm not prepared for with children. But yeah, luckily we turn to the left. And we don't take that turn. Only 19 credits, but she was on 153 episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful and 630 episodes of the soap opera Passions.
All right.
Oh,
She's on every episode of
Passions
that
was
show.
a great show.
Chris
They had-
perked up like he got an N64 for Christmas.
Yeah, Passions was a weird like daytime soap opera where they had like a little person that was like a doll, and then it would turn into a real little person and interact with everybody, and then somebody would walk in and turn back into a doll.
It had
Wow.
magic.
Did Brad
Yeah.
Dourif voice this doll?
Yeah, I don't.
It
was
had magic.
weird.
The show is like
Yeah.
about wizards.
I'd
and
seen
all
little
sorts
bits
things.
of it. Back in high
Yeah.
school, my girlfriend watched a lot of daytime soaps. And
Instead of going to school.
Yeah, you know.
You know, it was a staple on The Soup. If you've ever seen The Soup,
That's
they used to
true.
reference
Yeah.
Passions
I
all
think
the
that's
time.
where I got most of it, but that'd probably be worth a rewatch.
And then we have Olivia Hussey.
Wow.
Whoa.
Slumming it.
The career turned.
Future Grindbin All-Star, Olivia Hussey.
Yeah, Nurse Warden. 57 credits, including, as you said, Bobby, before we recorded, that movie that everybody had to watch in...
Like junior high and high school. She's Juliet from that version of Romeo and Juliet
Oh, wow.
where you got to see boobs in junior high at
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, Hussey.
May I go to the bathroom, please?
Also,
Sticky VCRs
one could
in
also
those
make the
rooms,
argument that
huh,
Olivia Hussey was the first final girl in a slasher movie.
Was that 1974's Black Christmas?
Considered the first slasher film because it predates Halloween.
And then you know what she did a mere 8 years later? 1982, Turkey Shoot. Another future Grindbin movie. 1990, she was in the TV version of It as Audra. So everybody loves that one. That's all I have written down because there's a lot more people in this movie, including David Naughton, who plays Tuna's dad.
Yes.
The
Mr. Tuna.
The werewolf from American Werewolf in London. I mean, do I need to go more? I mean, you've seen him there.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
You've seen him in the 86 other credits he has.
Now go see him at a horror convention.
All right, now this, I was really fucking pissed. David Warner, Heather's dad. By the way, of all the big actors, he's got the most lines, which is very disturbing.
You can
to
also
me.
argue that of all the actors, he's trying the hardest.
His character is the greatest thing I may have ever seen in my life.
He's been in a lot of like Disney movies too.
Oh yeah, well, Chris, I mean,
strap in.
221 credits,
And we're gonna go through each one.
No, but I'm just gonna. I only have 3 because there's way too many. He was in The Omen, 1976.
Yeah.
1982. Come on now, Tron.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Dillinger, Sark, and Master Control. Fucking Master Control is in this movie.
Yeah.
1997, he was in Titanic. I mean, this gives you an idea of the movies
played the
that
iceberg.
he's in. And that was 2 years after this movie.
He actually played Elderly Rose.
Okay, 2 years after Ice Cream Man was made, he was in a fucking James Cameron movie.
Boy, that's a level up.
And, like, not a small role necessarily in Titanic. He's in the fucking movie.
I have no idea who he was in Titanic.
Neither do I.
None of us do. Rest assured, he's in there.
But no, I don't know.
He floats by.
He played the violin.
I mean, maybe he saw the name Howard and he got confused on which brother it was involved or something, because I don't know what the fuck he's doing in this movie. And he's giving it his all. And there's... I mean, he's taking liberties with his role.
This is why. Because even if Ron Howard has nothing to do with the movie, because his brother's in it, he has to see it.
It's some Hollywood ass kissery.
Yeah.
I feel like at some
if
point...
Clint walks away going, this guy...
Yeah.
There must have been a point when David Warner was in a Ron Howard movie with Clint Howard on set, and he's like, I got this great movie, and I'd really love for you to be in it. And he's like, sure, whatever you say, Clint.
Would you like some ice cream?
He showed up to set, and he's like, oh, well, I'll have fun with it. Then we get to Jan Michael Vincent, who plays one of the detectives in this movie, and boy, does he seem to love being in this movie. I've never seen an actor more enthusiastic for a role. He has 85 credits. He was in The Mechanic, 1972, with Charles Bronson.
Haven't seen the remake. Was that decent?
No, I've never seen that. The original's good, though.
Yeah, I love the original.
Too good for this.
Yeah, that's not a bit worthy.
1987, although this one may not be too good for it, he was in Hooper. And then 1984, I mean, what he's most well known for, Airwolf. Oh boy, I cannot wait to get into this, especially one of the parts of this movie where he literally, I think it said in his contract he didn't have to run.
it's fantastic.
And then here you go. Do you know who stars opposite him as the other detective?
As the blue-collar comedy cop?
Yeah, do you know who that is?
No.
Lee Majors the second.
That's Lee Majors too?
Oh my God.
Lee Majors' kid, who only has 9 acting credits.
Man.
Ooh, ouch.
Didn't really work out for him, and this was his last movie.
Yeah, it's not... You can see why.
Lee Majors the second. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? He has a kid? Apparently nobody else knew either. So.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not really his kid. Maybe it's like when a Mexican wrestler chooses a protege. He's El Hijo de Lee Majors.
Yeah.
Do you think Lee Majors went to the premiere of this?
Yes, I absolutely do.
And he just pulled his son aside and he goes, you know what? You tried.
And halfway
You
through
really
the film, he got up and left like...
He goes, you know, son, I have all the money in the world. Maybe acting's not for you. Maybe I'll just kind of give you a paycheck and...
There's no way this was released to theaters.
No.
No. But I'm sure they had a premiere. Come on.
No.
At
that
Clint
Ron
Howard's
Howard
house.
Yeah, at a Blockbuster Video.
Yeah. You know, on the weekends you could rent them for $1. So Clint picked a copy up and invited some people over.
It was playing in a projector out of Clint's Datsun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get into the movie.
What an opening.
What? Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't hear
No, go ahead. All I said was, what an opening.
Are you saying what an oh, well, to the cold open. I thought you meant that they had the fucking balls to put a Norman Epstein film in the credits.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's a little presumptuous. It calls itself a film, which is clearly shot on video, by the way. We go to a black and white happy suburban street.
Yeah, we're opening in Pleasantville, and some kids are about to get some ice cream when suddenly John Carpenter's Christine comes peeling around the corner, and a drive-by occurs on this poor ice cream man in his truck. And if you look inside the car during this drive-by, these guys are in like rolled-up dress shirts and Panama hats. It's like the Mom's New Boyfriend gang gunned this guy down. This guy looks like Timothy Hutton in Leverage.
They look like Halloween costume gangsters. Like they got the big fake cigar
Tommy gun and
out,
the big hat.
Hey, like a real Jimmy Cagney.
But yeah, so this mailman? No, wishful thinking. This ice cream man dies face down in a puddle of his own blood.
He falls down dead in the gutter. Like, so the town ice cream man is gunned down in front of children and families while happy music is playing.
Yeah.
He falls down face down dead in the gutter as like blood's rushing out of him. I think he still has a push-up in his hands.
Yeah, and this creepy blonde kid comes and calmly takes the push-up from him and just sits down on the curb and begins to eat it.
And his mom comes running out of the house screaming. She's like, "Oh my God, Gregory, my baby, say something, say something." And he just goes, "Who will bring the ice cream, Mommy? Who will bring the ice cream?"
And I mentioned that this kid's blonde for a reason, as we will see shortly.
Modern day.
Yeah.
We have a kid using a computer.
Like a Commodore 64.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? It was like some driving game where you don't drive?
That's how it used to be for computer games. They'd be like, type T to go forward.
He's playing like the Knight Rider game where you have to tell Kit what to do. You have to type in the commands.
Kit, go forward. Don't understand forward. Kit, press gas. Don't understand press.
Don't understand, Dave.
I can't do that, Michael.
First gear.
Michael, that's right.
Yeah, Dave was Hal.
First
Well,
gear.
Open the Bombay doors, Kit.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
And so then, so this kid who will keep popping up randomly in the movie.
Yeah.
His name's Roger.
Is it?
Repeatedly kept forgetting he was even in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
How could you forget his name's Roger? Because his mom had some of the best dialogue in any movie where she... It's a lady in a room reading a script, basically. Roger, don't take that money out of my purse. Roger.
Sorry, Mom.
Okay, did anybody else notice this? So the ice cream man has arrived because he's running outside to get ice cream.
Of course.
And he takes money, he runs outside, and then I think he breaks the fourth wall. I think he looks right into the camera and he goes, "Ice cream." And I was like, whoa.
A real Zach Morris moment.
Yeah.
It'll never happen again, but he definitely looked down the barrel of the lens, and they must have got that footage back, and they were like, "Fuck!"
I think the director was like, "Say the line," and he turned, looked right at him, and said, "Ice cream."
Ice cream.
So all the kids line up, and Roger, he orders a push-up, and Clint Howard won't give it to him because he didn't say please.
And that's fair.
And then we get our real characters. So fuck this kid. Like, get him out of here, you know? We'll see him sometimes. Why we start the movie on him? I don't know.
Well, technically, we didn't even start it on him. We started on some blonde kid that was traumatized. That we have no idea what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Well, you do know who it is.
Some blonde kid sitting on the curb remembering Vietnam.
That's Clint Howard.
Oh, I had no idea.
No, it's supposed to be him. He goes up.
This is the origin of...
Fucking no idea, man.
You had no idea? That's Clint Howard. That's why he's the ice cream man.
How are you supposed to make that connection?
Well, they called him
Because his
Gregory.
name's Gregory.
And they called him Gregory.
And there's a
the-
scene later where I don't want to jump ahead, but we do revisit this dead ice cream man.
Yeah. And you also see that kid getting the old syringe to the head.
This is a huge snooze.
Yeah, fucking... I was more creeped out that people were going to an ice cream truck and getting like scoops of ice cream out. Like the only time I've ever done that is in New York for Mr. Softy, but I've never had like the ice cream man come around here and like 31 flavors pulls up in front of my house.
You never came up and said, "Give me your hard pack"?
Yeah.
Okay, so they call the ice cream for this movie hard
Let's
pack.
address this. Now, I have been a fat kid in Pennsylvania, and I've been a fat kid in Southern California, and neither of those places do we say, "Hey, give me a hard pack."
I think
gents
that
around
means-
the table, you've been around.
I thought that would be like
maybe this-
into the cone hard so that it gets more in there. You know?
Oh, for sure. I get where it came from, but I've never heard someone use the phrase like when you're ordering ice cream.
Well, that was
I
just
understand that there's soft serve and then there's hard ice cream, but usually you just say,
I guess-
I'll take a cone or I'll take a scoop.
Because that was just a blind guess on my end. I have no idea either.
I think this is a holdover from the pornos.
Maybe.
I think the old hard pack, you know.
Listeners, I put it out
Rocky
to you.
Road
I know
hard
we have
pack.
listeners in a lot of different places. If you've ever seen somebody say, "Give me a hard pack" to an ice cream man,
That is not a sentence I'm going to utter, like in public. On this podcast, I will, but I will never say, "Give me a hard pack." Although now I'm thinking maybe I'll go to Cold Stone and be like, yeah, give me some of that hard pack, yeah?
Yeah, and fold it up for me.
So Tuna's next. Okay, Tuna. Now
Fucking Tuna.
Is this the kid they try to make look fat by
Thank
like patting
you. That
his
was my
shirt?
issue because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tuna's a skinny kid with a
Like-
pillow taped to his
Yeah,
stomach,
like
wearing
his-
oversized clothes.
His face is like
Yes, he is.
like
Thank
gaunt
you.
and thin. Like
Again,
yeah.
I was a fat kid, and your arms and face don't look like that.
You're offended.
I wasn't offended. I was just like, that ain't one of us.
This is amazing.
He's an imposter.
So this is kind of a spoiler, is that Tuna does make it through this movie, okay? But Tuna is a skinny kid with a pillow under his shirt the whole movie, and it was either done for a couple reasons. One, they couldn't find a fat kid.
You know that no fat children are trying to act back in '95.
This is
Or they
when I
were
was
just like-
active as an actor.
Oh shit! You know what, Hughes? I did fucking write that you would have been perfect.
You
as
should have been Tuna. Hughes.
Because this is like around the time for Hook too, wasn't it? So I did almost get into Hook.
I was thinking you would have been perfect. As
Hughes is
Tuna.
the man who would be Tuna.
That would have been perfect.
The man who would be Tuna. Okay, so
Sorry you missed that one, Hughes.
I was thinking either they couldn't find a fat kid. Two,
Chris was busy.
it's all set up for the last shot of the movie where Tuna's thin. Because if you notice, there's a slight little thing where Racer taps his stomach and goes, eh? And he goes, yeah, thanks.
Is it to imply that they're not eating so much ice cream anymore?
I
Yes.
guess that's
Yes.
stupid.
I thought
Yeah.
they just forgot the pillow.
Yeah.
I remember they just didn't.
Because
care.
in my head, I thought I remembered somebody saying, Tuna, you lost a lot of weight. But no, they don't even do that. They
No.
barely reference
I really
it.
think it was a mistake. I really think that he just didn't have the pillow strapped and they didn't notice.
They're like, oh shit, reference that.
Where's
that he's
continuity? Where's continuity?
Yeah, this kid is a fat kid who just wears a pillow under his shirt the whole time. But he's got to take a few spills.
It's weird.
So.
It's like when Tyra Banks put on a fat suit and walked around New York for a little while. Ended the episode weeping for no reason.
But the best part about this is you could see the fucking square outlines.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's how you know because it's like his torso is all lumpy and weird. Like
He looks
why
like
this movie's
like
amazing.
There's
Mean
practically-
Joe Green.
This is just one of the reasons I love this movie. Is
Yeah.
that they made a skinny kid a fat kid. They
he
couldn't
looks like
even-
he's shoplifting things
of
under
mar-
his shirt. You know, it's like a Jane's Addiction video.
Yeah.
It was like they thought a fat kid really would be lazy. They're like, we hear those fat kids are lazy, and we don't want one of them because he's gonna have to work overtime for ice cream, man.
We get a real fat kid. He won't fit in the freezer.
They have to question all the skinny kids. So do fat kids watch a lot of TV, or do kids who watch a lot of TV get fat?
So what? We hire a fat kid. He's got to have his 2 hours of TV time every day or something on set. I mean, come on.
They had like a big casting call for the fat kid in the movie, and the guys are just like, next, no. And then the skinny kid's just like, I'm going to give it a shot.
Because at the end of this movie, that kid is fucking rail skinny. I mean, he doesn't even have a goddamn pound on him.
Well, he fit underneath that truck too.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so then Tuna orders, right? And he orders popsicles for his friends, right? And then you kind of just see this weird cutaway of like Clint Howard like takes the change, and there's like these cockroaches and mice in a bucket.
Yeah, and they're not just mice. They're like newly bought pet store mice.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be grossed out by this, and these are bone white,
adorable.
perfectly
It's like,
clean,
aw.
cute little mice
Yeah.
hanging out in an ice cream tub. Are you shitting
Yeah.
me? This is like a Disney drawing.
But that stock music, that beautiful stock music from the 90s tells me I should be scared.
Philip Glass is working so hard to freak us out. Sweets for the sweet.
And he's really trying to sell that hard pack to those kids, which is, again, a very weird thing to say to children when he says, why don't you try some of the hard pack? And I was like, what movie is this?
Yeah, sirens immediately. Fucking Robert Stack locked him up.
And there's like a bunch of flies and cockroaches in it. And Tuna responds with, quote, yo, man, I said 2 creamsicles and a bomb pop. I don't need nuts. They give me gas.
Oh, Tuna's just a gem. God bless you, Tuna.
This could have been you. I mean, this
Oh no,
one
he
was
delivered
born
those
for
lines
you.
really well.
Like, you get why he got the part.
So then we meet the other 2 kids, Johnny, or Racer, as I'm going to call him, because
Yeah.
that's for some reason we're going to call him that for one scene in the movie.
I mean, his
and never
own
again.
parents call him that, so
Yeah.
I guess.
And Heather, and
Who doesn't have a nickname?
Yeah, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
And along with the Tuna, they call themselves the Rocketeers. And we'll find out at minute 50 that has something to do with the
There's a
movie.
reason they call themselves that. They got a secret handshake and everything.
But the scene ends with a foot race, and of course, Fatty Fat Pants pulling up the rear. And he says something. He's always we gotta race again. I gotta move.
They should have shown him like always sweating.
Yeah.
Like, load up the glycerin on his face. His hair is like greasy.
Spray him
and-
down real quick.
Yeah, spray him down like
Just get a little butter spray and hit him.
He's got a wet T-shirt so you can see the pillow beneath.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Just see the full outline.
And the thing is, like so many other movies that do this, these kids are written way too young.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, like Heather was like 16 when she was in this movie, and she's playing what, 10?
I don't know what
Like, it's
she's playing
really
because the
weird.
way the dialogue goes, they might as well be 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was looking like, how old are these kids? And they're all like 16-year-olds playing like 10-year-olds, which is very weird because
Also,
they don't look this young.
You want to talk about this movie not aging well? Their outfits, man.
Oh, God.
This is
Oh,
a
my
time
God.
capsule,
Yeah.
man. They're dressed like TLC.
Everything is like 10 times bigger than it should be.
Oh, I mean, I dressed like this in the 90s for sure.
I wish I
Pillow under
could.
the shirt, you know. You were dressing more like the girl.
I have no choice. I have no choice.
Chris was ready to explain it all.
Yeah.
So then we go to the playground. Okay, now this is amazing.
This is a weird scene.
Okay, yeah, because there's multiple threads we're gonna pull down. Like I said, we kind of go to porn. Like we dabble inside and out porn, and it gets
And
really
SVU,
uncomfortable.
it's very weird.
Yeah.
But fake Macaulay Culkin is sitting on a.
Yeah,
It's Macaulay Culkin from My Girl.
It is. So like My Girl.
He looks just frail.
yeah.
And there was that part
After
where he
the
got
bee
stung
stick.
by all the bees.
That's how he dies.
So yeah, the page master's sitting here reading a book.
You know, nobody ever answered my question if there was a Ghost Macaulay in My Girl too. Nobody ever answered that question from a previous podcast, and I'm still wondering that.
Oh,
one.
was there not a scene where like Anna Chlumsky's sheets fly for bed in the middle of the night and like
She gets pulled to the ceiling and just goes to rape.
My Girl.
My Girl 2, the entity. Be horrifying. We need to use the score from the ice cream man on that scene.
yeah.
So fake Macaulay, Page Master's reading the Pied Piper on a swing.
Oh
Guys,
man, are we gonna fart on about the Pied Piper a lot in this?
do you think that has anything to do with the rest of the movie, or
Well, they brought it up again later, like an hour
about
later.
50 times?
This kid won't shut up about it.
And then does anybody else notice the janitor?
This dirty old man in the background, though, like, oh, there's this boy that's all alone. He starts walking towards him. We keep on cutting. He's getting closer.
It's like the beginning of Night of the Living Dead. The zombies just approaching.
Or it's like a guy at a bar, like, should I go hit on her now, or what do I say to? What
He's
do I
trying
say
to
to
get
him?
up the confidence to go abduct a child.
So you like swings? No, that's stupid.
What do you got there? Books?
You into studs.
God.
But luckily the Rocketeers arrive and that molestation is stopped momentarily.
Yeah, sorta. I mean, they don't really make the guy leave.
Well, it's his job, apparently.
He's
You
picking
know?
up trash around the park. And
Yeah.
Yeah, any child molesters, if you just grab a pokey stick,
yeah.
nobody suspects anything. They go, oh, that creepy. Oh, no, he's just picking up the trash.
Oh yeah, Mr. Kruger, the groundskeeper, he's fine around the kids. Don't worry about it.
Do you think there's like the sex offender like hierarchy and like the janitors and the ice cream men have to fight over the kids
God.
because of proximity?
Yeah.
It was
by
like
the
a
way,
Bugs Bunny, like, I'm working this side of the street.
Did you guys also notice that the ice cream truck also has like prison bars as the,
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
bars for the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Is
an
it to
odd
keep
choice.
them out or to keep him in?
Ooh, well, we'll learn about living on the inside, Bobby.
It's true.
Oh boy. So the Rocketeers arrive. They save Macaulay from the rape, and then we learn that he's the fourth of this group. The creep janitor's still hanging around in the shot. Is I right? Doesn't this dude have to be like 1,000 yards from the playground or something? Or maybe it's 95. You know, we don't have those rules yet.
Not yet.
Then Tuna runs up, falls into the sand. But luckily he had that pillow.
Yeah,
Do you
so-
think maybe it was just like he just had the pillow for that shot, and they were like, "Oh fuck, you can see it." So maybe we should just keep it for the rest of the movie.
You know, interesting aside. The first time I ever saw a slip and slide, when I was a small child, one got set up in my backyard. I was so afraid of hurting myself, running and falling on my face, that I ran and grabbed a pillow off my bed. In that moment, I was
that's
too
smart.
young.
I thought you were gonna say like you.
It didn't work. You don't slide very well with a pillow under you.
So
I
you
think-
looked even crazier.
Yeah, so I just flopped on the lawn.
thought you were gonna say you didn't know it had to have water on.
Oh, fortunately, the graphs were fantastic. I'll show you guys. Let me take my shirt off real quick.
Okay, so then Tuna runs up. He falls into the sand, and he drops his popsicle, but then he picks it up and still eats it.
And they're like, Tuna!
And then they spin on the merry-go-round talking about the Pied Piper.
While the creepy guy just stands next to them being creepy.
Well, because they're spinning.
Yeah.
And then you find out that actually the janitor was spinning. And he's like, okay, the pervert man says, that's what happens when you don't pay the piper. Is that apparently the piper killed all the children?
Yeah, after he got rid of the rats, he then caused all the kids to walk into the lake and drown. And the kids were like, I'm pretty sure the kids got away. And that foils this creepy dude.
And the pervert goes,
I thought they died.
I thought they all drowned. I thought that was my version of the story. I remember. And then the tuna says, nah, the kids always get away. Wink, wink. And then they run off, right? So later, that kid from the start of the movie, Roger, right?
Yeah.
The kid Roger, he's just alone in the park now. It's later. And then, like, the ice cream man and the pervert are in the park. So pick your poison. I mean, really.
And the ice cream man's looking at the pervert, and it causes a flashback.
The pokey stick causes the flashback.
The pokey stick that the pervert's using causes the flashback. And he remembers being back in an insane asylum, getting an injection in his head of apparently Nickelodeon slime.
I was just going to say that. It's that you can't say that on television.
Yeah.
And just inject it right in your brain.
Yeah.
So then this scene ends with the kid asking, okay, he's like, ice cream man, are you okay? And then we see like a cutaway of him petting a Rambo knife, and he's like, yeah, I'm just fine. I'm just fine.
And the whole time Clint Howard's doing his like wannabe Freddy Krueger voice. It's kind of not quite where it needs to be.
Yeah.
He was
he's doing his best.
Yeah.
He tried to scream all the way to work that day, but it just wasn't working. You know?
It's like the Freddy Krueger voice that Will Smith got for his Nightmare on My Street song, or it's like, that's definitely not Freddy, but I see what you're trying to do.
So then we go to night at Heather's house, and this is when we learn that her father is a preacher played by Master Control, which is holy fuck. Then we just go back to Ice Cream Man. He pulls into a dark alley, and this like dog comes up and barks at him. And you can hear a kid like trying to get out of the freezer. What you hear sounds like a kid. And then Clint Howard, okay, this is great. So he looks at the dog and he takes out a push pop and he's going to one-liner the dog, which I loved. Is he goes, are we having a bad day? And instead of a push pop, it's a knife.
A blade pops up
I
out of
love
a
that.
Flintstone push pop. That was rad.
That was cool.
I mean, I don't like what we're implying here, but I do like the weapon.
Yeah.
So we cut inside, and we're in this nurse lady's house. Right?
Olivia Hussey.
Yeah, Olivia Hussey.
Right.
Again, they made the kid wear a pillow under his shirt. This whole movie, they make Olivia Hussey dress like an old lady,
even though she's like 20.
Yeah, except
she's
for the,
clearly not an old woman that she's playing.
Because in the flashback scenes, they just had her playing herself.
Yeah,
like regular. But then they're like,
and
we
here,
gotta gray her up.
All they did was give her glasses and have her hunch over a little bit
and do that little a little gray streak in her hair.
Yeah,
and the old lady voice a little bit.
Oh,
slightly.
And wear a sweater. A little with two of the buttons.
A cardigan.
Yeah. It's like last second invite to a Halloween party. That's about the effort we're putting in here. It's like, I guess I'm an older version of myself.
And she doesn't even really do an old lady voice. She's just more like, oh, Gregory.
Yeah, they're counting on the accent carrying you through.
So then we hear a dog yelp, and she goes to the window, and Clint Howard just pops up in the open window.
Yeah. Like a freaking Pee Wee Herman Playhouse guest star.
Fucking Cowboy Curtis showed up.
Yeah.
And this is when at first I write, so wait, he was just going to kill this kid in the nurse's driveway?
Apparently.
Good God, man, he's sadistic. And he says, happy day, Nurse Warden. And she's like, have you seen my dog, Gregory? And he's like, no, I don't know. And there's that weird line where she's like, what's that on your nose?
No, he's like, oh, that's grenadine from the ice cream.
And this is when you find out, so she is his landlord, his caretaker.
Yeah.
And everything rolled into one. Maybe lover.
It's like Lon Chaney in Spider Baby. She's committed to keeping him alive and safe because he can't be trusted by himself.
Yeah.
And she's terrible at it.
And you learn
point.
what she's paying that rent, what he's paying that rent with.
Oh yeah, we find out rent's due, and he's like, 4 gallons.
Yeah, 5 gallons. Rocky Road.
Yeah.
Gallons of ice cream is how he pays the rent.
Yeah.
Hey, Hey, be glad this director didn't have a different idea.
Yeah, this shit takes days to make. Days.
Do you have any idea how long it takes to make butter brickle?
Well, we'll find out.
Stay tuned.
Then we cut to a shot of a dog going through a meat grinder.
It's true, we do. And I have in my notes here, what the fuck, Mike?
Gotcha!
The fuck are you showing me this?
This is how they should have done dogs. That's all I'm saying.
He doesn't want us to watch the Cannibal Holocaust, but he'll put us through this.
Yeah.
Well, it's clearly a fake
Oh yeah,
dog.
it's a dog muppet. Like they put Rolf the dog through a grinder.
But this is like the only movie I can imagine that I've seen a dog go through a meat grinder. So
We need to find one with cats now.
But then you do
You better cross the line here.
then they do the cut to like thinking that it's dog meat, but basically somebody's pulling out like. And I wrote, I mean, this isn't a meat loaf. This is a meat cake.
It's like this family for dinner made like 4 pounds of uncooked beef. It's like the mom's gonna turn and go, well, the oven's not working. Fuck it. Dig in, everybody. It's start time.
Yeah, this is just like she got the thing from Ralph's and overturned the raw beef and was like, "Ooh, what do you do?"
I don't know what to do next.
And then they bring it out, right? It's a family dinner with. Is this how old is this guy supposed to be?
I have an issue with this
40?
too because he's
Right.
supposed to be the older brother, and this dude is 35 years old.
And this guy, by the way, oh my God, one of my favorite performances is any Grindbin movie because this guy, I mean, I don't know, like.
This guy, of all the people, you thought this was a good character.
No, he's so bad.
Oh, okay.
He's so bad that it's great. Like, this brother,
he's one rung above Lee Majors 2.
his first line
Lee Majors
here,
Jr.
The dad, who is like just the most rich dad, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
only see him for like I believe this one scene.
Yeah.
He's like, here I am over here. My son's trying to read me the riot act for driving.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, doing his little Type 5 Rodney Dangerfield at the table.
And the older brother who's older than dad. He
With a backwards hat, Bobby. Come on.
Poochie says, quote, when I become a cop, there's no more flesh and blood, just me and the law. And then he does finger guns.
So good.
Like he's implying he's going to shoot his father. Like this guy thinks he's becoming Judge Dredd.
Yeah, that should have been like every punk band's sound clips on their albums or something.
My son shoots me dead for going 30 in a 25 zone.
Hey, when I become a cop, there's no more flesh and blood. It's just me and the law.
And it gets better because the mom comes in and she goes, "Where's Racer?" And I go, "Racer?
Yes.
Are we getting another kid?"
I was hoping Racer X would come down the stairs. Like, good race today, everybody.
Just like 1 year he dressed as Racer X. And they've called him it for the rest of his life. He's like, "All right, guys, we can leave it. I'm Johnny now."
Johnny comes down with a monkey. He's wearing a neckerchief.
It was like when I went camping as a kid.
Is this about to get dark, Mike?
No, there was like these 2 kids that my brother and I met when we were camping, and one of the kids said his name was Danger, and my brother was like, "Wow, that is the coolest name I've ever heard." And I had to tell him, like, "Peter, his name's not really Danger. He's just telling you that." And he was convinced that his parents had named him Danger. So.
Does Peter still believe this?
Probably.
Okay, good.
He doesn't listen to the show. So. And then,
Fuck you, Peter.
So the rest of the movie, I just call him Cop Boy.
That's fine.
Remember how they had like Cop and a Half?
Yeah.
They should have
Yeah.
had like this guy star.
Cop and a
opposite.
prick.
Yeah, Cop and a prick. So Cop Boy.
And at one point, one of the parents asks about tuna. And Cop Boy takes... This is clearly the actor doing a little
is what I'm
improvisation.
saying.
Like, he does a tight 5 on naming a kid Tuna.
He goes, "What kind of name is that?" Tuna. Tuna.
That's all he's got. That's his material. Just like, hey, Tuna.
Tuna's mom picked me up.
What kind of name is that? Tuna. 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 It's so stupid.
Now, Jacob, Tuna is a very nice boy.
It's just dumb. I will admit the twerp does stink like a rotten fish, though.
Hey, this is not very nice dinner conversation.
And we even cut away, and in the background, we can still hear him going.
Oh yeah. Oh, he does a
that
Type
was-
5 on Tuna.
That was the night.
The director's like, "Keep going. I'm dying."
I hear
over
you
here."
slaying him.
On
Say Tuna
fire.
again.
But then I wrote, "What kind of name is Racer?"
Right?
I mean, it's just as
Like,
bad.
I beg your pardon, sir.
So then the parents tell him to cool it. Yeah, that's when the dad's like, "All right, cool it. We're
The dad at one point mutters, also off camera, like, at what point did I lose control? Like, he's having an existential crisis.
Yeah, this dad, because okay, so the phone rings and the mom answers it, and she like learns a boy's missing, and she'll come back to the table. But before she comes back to the table, that dad, like his little Type 5 has come. Like it's time for his big line. He goes, "Honey, will you save me? The inmates have taken over."
That's as far as he's ever gone with parenting.
Hello? Oh, hi. Well, no, I was just...
Really? You're kidding me.
Hey, stop it at
Well,
this
maybe he
table.
just lost his way
Have some
home.
respect at the table.
No.
Twerp.
Will somebody tell me where I lost control?
At Marcy's. Okay.
Honey, will you save me?
Okay.
The inmates have taken over.
I put this is like a Goldman Sachs guy is acting in his kid's movie.
Yeah.
Like, the line delivery is so bad.
Horrible.
And then the mom's like, hey, everybody, you remember that kid Roger? He disappeared and his mom's worried sick. And she's like, Razor, you can't be out after dark anymore. So tomorrow you're going to go to the movies with your brother and his girlfriend. I thought that was his sister, but apparently that's the
I thought there was a sister too. Yeah.
No, it was the girlfriend.
Okay.
And that's when the cop boy says, this is great. I'm definitely not going to a G film. Ah. And I was like, I hope he takes him to see Caligula. Yeah, you'll like this.
So I think we skipped that little part, and it's not a big deal when Clint Howard wakes up in the dirt.
No, it's next.
Oh, no, it's next.
coming up.
Go ahead.
But so he wakes up in this dirt, and he apparently sleeps outside. But there's these like flower pinwheel things.
Yeah.
But if you notice in the movie, everybody acts like they're real flowers.
Until the ending. Toward the end, we acknowledge that they're actually pinwheels, but up till then, I had that in my notes too.
Yeah,
like, everyone's
what
acting
the
like, are we supposed to believe these are flowers and this is
Yeah.
part of the farce?
They're like cheap, like dollar store pinwheel
Sunflower
But then,
looking
like,
things.
at 65 minutes in, when they forget to pretend that they're real, and one guy's just like, so what's with the pinwheels?
Yeah, because at one point, somebody told Jan Michael Vincent he has to pretend they're real, and he pissed off.
Like, Jan Michael Vincent's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so basically, Clint Howard's like, apparently part of his rent is he gets to sleep in the yard like a dog. Like, he sleeps amongst the plastic pinwheels.
She didn't seem too like worried that he woke up amongst the flowers.
Well, she
Definitely
woke
not the first
him
time
up.
that's happened.
Right.
And by the way, there's like ice cream powder everywhere. He was hitting the sauce hard last night.
Hitting the grenadine.
And she tells him, she's like, rent's due in a few days. This is where we learned it's 5 gallons of hard pack.
Sure. And make it Rocky Road this
we
time.
hope that means ice cream.
She's getting the hard back every night.
That's 5 gallons.
5 gallons. How
Yeah.
can that man walk?
The old Rocky Road. So then we get
That's how he
kids.
lost his hair.
So, like, basically the cop boy drops these kids off at Tuna's dad's office. And he just goes,
Well, no,
like,
he drops them off at the movies and says you could take the bus home afterwards, and then we cut to later. We don't watch them go to the movies, but this is after the movie. They've swung by Dad's
Oh,
office.
so we didn't get to watch them buy the ticket and then get their seat.
We didn't bother with any of that shit. We just
No,
like...
we didn't get to see him see Caligula. The kids walk into Tuna's dad's office. David Naughton.
Oh, enter David Naughton. And he says, hey, my number one son and his tag team. And hold on a second.
Hey, Heather.
Here it comes.
There are more than 2 of them. That's a staple.
That's true. That's true.
Excuse me, werewolf. Get your shit together, man. That's not a tag team.
So this was really upsetting you, the inner WWE fan in you.
Oh, it was.
getting
It
real
was. I mean,
pissed.
I guess you can argue the Freebirds were more than 2, but they were considered a tag. It's a stable, okay? There's 4 of them.
Wait, is Fake Macaulay? Yeah, Fake Macaulay's with them.
Yeah.
Okay, did anybody else notice how David Naughton apparently keeps like a 1/10 replica of the fucking Washington Monument on his desk?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I wrote, is this another holdover from porn?
Phallic representation of himself. He's like, uses it to empower himself every day. Like, yeah, tonight's the night.
Oh, I just think that the director was like, this desk's looking a little empty. Hold on, I got something in my van from the last shoot I was on.
And he put the first thing down. They're like, that's not going to fly. He's like, sorry. Pulled it off the top and put the Washington Monument there.
Okay, this is incredible, though. The dad gets a phone call.
Okay.
And he picks up the phone and he goes,
Hey, gorgeous. Keeping that oven heated up?
For fuck's sake.
and then he looks over at the kids and goes, it's your mother. But it's not his mom.
No, it's not.
We learn it's the town mistress. So basically, anybody that wants to cheat on their wife goes to this lady's house.
Mm-hmm.
She's apparently supported by, I don't know, her various Johns, because she lives in like a fucking mansion,
Yeah.
this lady.
She's really well off, really well dressed.
That house at 149's looking good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she has a better house than anybody else in the movie. It's crazy.
Well,
She's
she
got
works
a
harder
pool
than
and
anyone else
everything.
in this movie.
But elbow grease.
You know how many hard packs she has to deal with?
Oh, she'll ask for some. She will. And then he's like, all right, take some money, kids, and get out of here, right?
Move along, kid. You bother me.
Then we go to the ice cream man in the streets, and like this is when Jan Michael Vincent shows up, and he kind of does like a little turn towards the camera, like it's me, everybody, and everybody's like, do I know that guy?
Hi, I'm Jan Michael Vincent.
He definitely seems like the type of guy that was walking around set being like, I'm a big fucking deal.
You know, he did not take those shades off. Those aviators he got on the set of Airwolf.
Oh yeah. He seems like a big asshole. Like, he
really does.
The worst guy.
Agreed.
Because he does not give a fuck in this movie.
He spends most of this movie just yawning and frowning.
And we're getting really pissed.
Yeah.
Like, and
That's how I spend all my time in this movie.
It's true.
Yawning and frowning.
He was really the experience of the viewer watching this movie.
So you know what though, the cops, they want some of that world famous hard pack they've been hearing about.
Now, what? It's world famous.
World famous.
Where has he been hearing about this guy's hard pack?
All over town. Apparently. So we pan over. Well, we're gonna learn where this movie takes place, and I go, that answers a lot of my questions. A lot of them. So we pan over to these ice cream buckets, and they're filled with bloody limbs and mice. But the rocky road seems fine.
For the time being.
For the time being.
Yeah.
He then pulls an eyeball and, like, cores it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is the grossest thing I've seen in this movie. And I watched a dog puppet go through a meat grinder.
Yeah.
PG-13, Bobby. PG-13.
Yeah.
What do you mean, What are you talking about? So I saw in that PG Temple of Doom they were eating eyeballs. What the fuck? So Spielberg gets away with it, but Clint Howard can't?
And so, by the way, it's worth pointing out, too, when he asks for some of that hard pack, Clint Howard's like, it's $2. Lee Majors II has to turn to Jan Michael Vincent and be like, hey, can I borrow $1? Do you have a buck?
What's expensive ice cream?
$2.95. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's world famous, Chris.
Well, fuck
World
you.
famous.
Melted, too.
And the ingredients are rare.
Yeah, well.
It's prepubescent boy today.
Do you think when they got the MPAA rating back, they were like, it's rated R, and they're like, well, what can we do to fix it? And they go, can you take out the word hard pack? And they're
That's really how they got the R rating.
Shit.
They didn't care about the violence. You just said hard pack 27 times.
Can you put a bag over Clint Howard's face?
Poor Clint.
He's disturbing in this movie. I don't think you guys are playing that up enough. Like, he is the stuff of nightmares in this movie.
By the way, you get to see Lee Majors II's amazing line delivery when he goes, hey, now that's an ice cream cone.
And then we cut into an extreme close-up of him, like, just going to town on it with his tongue.
Oh, God. That was the worst. That was the grossest part.
This was a porn director, wasn't it?
Yeah, the gross part was not the ice cream. It was his mouth and, like, his teeth
When
and the beard.
when he got the eyeball into it, and then they zoom onto it. And
How do you
What? First of all, that wasn't an entire eyeball he put in the ice cream. Why does he have a whole eyeball in his mouth?
Yeah.
And secondly, how is he not realizing that he's playing with an eyeball?
Well, it tastes like marshmallow.
Fair.
But then in the middle of that scene, this mom kind of... I've never seen a lady so afraid to act. She just kind of like walks up like, oh my God, I gotta
Creeps
hit my
into the
point.
background.
And she goes, officer, have you found my son?
Which, think about this from the mom's perspective. These cops are like, we're going to look for your missing kid. And she sees them buying ice cream.
Yeah, we'll get right on. Oh, and by the way, Lee Majors II turns around and goes, you want one? You want?
Yeah,
can
why
I buy
does
you
he
an ice
buy
cream?
her an ice cream?
Here's an issue with that. One, inappropriate. This lady just lost her kid. I mean, don't worry about that. Two, you fuckers had to pool your resources for the first one. Like, who's paying for this if you buy her an ice cream?
Well, I mean, they just offer. They're not actually going to get it.
Right.
Oh, do you have any? Oh, you're sold out. Okay.
Or he goes, oh, I didn't think you'd say yes. Dead kid and all, That's when, okay, so then the kids arrive, right? Well, you see that whole scene, like, seriously, a minute-long scene of him eating that eyeball. It goes on a long time. A real shot from a past movie, I'm sure.
Totally.
The kids have arrived. They're going to buy ice cream. The town mistress comes up, cuts in that line, and she orders some of that hard pack.
Interesting thing about this, though, the music for this moment, like,
Incredible.
they put all their money into the creepy music, and all they had left for, like, sexy time was they set the Casio to Conga 2. Because it's like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, that's not sexy music at all.
Ladies first. My. I'd like to buy a gallon of your hard pack. Do you deliver?
No. I do think that the music in Quad Ed Zone might be better than this movie.
I mean, there's a vinyl soundtrack of that Quad Ed Zone, so.
And there's probably a cassette tape with somebody's handwriting on it for this movie.
We really need to. We need to start putting together a collection of the vinyl soundtracks for our Grindbin movies.
Yeah.
I just want one of these soundtrack tapes to end up in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so she walks up and she's like, "Hey, can I buy some of that hard pack delivered to my house? 1 gallon, please."
The one character in this movie who understands that hard pack's a weird fucking thing to say.
And he goes, "No." He literally says, "No, I don't deliver." And she's like, "Well, the address is 1642 or whatever. Come on over with that hard pack, boy." Ooh. And he's like, I wrote, this character is definitely a holdover from porn. Like,
yeah,
she has crossed into the movie. Like, he couldn't help himself.
Every neighborhood has one.
Yeah.
And while she's working game on the ice cream man, Tuna, of course, has to be Tuna and makes a fart sound behind her.
Okay, and by the way, she's hitting... Okay, so she sleeps with Tuna's dad, who's like a rich guy.
Yeah.
And her other guy she wants to sleep with is Clint Howard.
Who looks like he was chasing Linda Blair around in Hell Night.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
Bingo.
Clint Howard's an interesting looking guy, but they made him look extra interesting for this movie.
Yeah, like, she's definitely going for quantity over quality. God bless you, Clint Howard.
It's that world famous hard pack, you know?
Yeah, it's known for a reason.
She's looking for a whole gallon. And so then Tuna and the Rocketeers...
I'm uncomfortable.
Tuna and the Rocketeers actually order some hard pack. And he touches the hard pack to some frozen lips before giving it to them.
Give it a kiss.
So also his thing is like he's like kind of weirdly like he's always got to like get the ice cream to touch like something dead.
It gets tedious.
Yeah.
All the shots of like there's bugs in it and there's a dead guy here.
And
yeah, we get it.
Who is the dead person?
We don't know yet.
We
don't know yet.
I think it's the creep from the playground.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Oh, I didn't. I never even got that in my notes. So
okay.
But it's like, man, they are going for a stretch here. Like, he's got to get the ice cream in the cone. Then we see the shot of him brushing it lightly against a corpse lips.
It's too much. Like, it's not doing anything for the story to keep doing that.
They seem like they were added later, by the way.
Yeah.
All these cutaways.
We're padding out the runtime.
They're like, fine, you won't give us PG-13? We're making it real gore now. Fuck you and your hard pack. I'm putting hard pack in this movie 10 more times.
Well, the fact they keep on calling it hard pack and it is basically melted ice cream.
Yeah.
That's just running down everybody's hand.
It's hard than soft pack.
It's like I had trouble, like almost gagged every time they would show it.
Of all the things they show in this movie, the thing that's the grossest is this fucking ice cream.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's a melted ice cream that does me, and I can't do it.
You're like, what do you even put that shit in the freezer?
Because like the worst thing can ever happen is you get an ice cream like that and you're down at the beach or whatever, and it just melts all over your hand and you have nowhere to wash your hands.
That is the worst.
That is a nightmare of mine.
Yeah. I'd rather be in an ice cream man's freezer.
Yes.
So later we go, the ice cream man pulls out up outside the town mistress house. He's seeing about that hard pack order. And then he has like a flashback to this crazy doctor and nurse giving him a syringe to the head. Like he's getting that.
Yeah, we're doing the Nickelodeon slime again.
Yeah, double dare. This was the real.
He's taking a physical challenge.
He pulls away from the house when she comes outside, and he like kind of wakes up from his stupor. And then we go back. It's night now, and like Heather comes home, and oh my god, if we'd only tugged on this thread a little bit more.
There's some stories here that I would love to have seen.
Man, here's another movie that's going on.
We walk into her house,
and the Archangel Gabriel is speaking through her mother. Her mom is sitting in a chair, acting like she's on salvia.
So Master Control is behind her in this recliner, all excited with a look on his face, while her mom's just screaming in tongues. And then he chases Heather up the stairs. He goes, Heather, come quickly. The Archangel Gabriel is talking through your mother again. And she just runs to her room like, I'm turning this movie off. Like, no.
Where the fuck did this come from? Why is it happening?
I feel like...
I think Warner was the one who came up with this shit.
You promised you'd keep this in your bedroom, Mom.
Yeah.
I think he was like, well, if I'm going to be in this movie, I'm making my character the most interesting thing in this movie.
Yeah. I wish she would come down like that Sark helmet and just start, talking back to her.
So then we got a fake Macaulay, who I've now learned is called Small Paul. And he comes up to the ice cream man in the alleyway. This, by the way, Oscar winning. He comes up to the ice cream man in the alleyway, and he's like dancing to himself and everything. And Clint Howard offers him some ice cream, and he learns his favorite. We learned his favorite flavor, just like Clint Howard's, is butter brickle. He opens the freezer
And when he does, it glows like the trunk from Repo Man.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
I was like, oh shit, there are aliens in
and the
this
kid
movie?
goes, whoa, like he's just amazed.
He's never seen
by
the
it.
inside of an ice cream truck.
We see that the pervert janitor is dead in there. The audience does.
Yeah.
More overtly than before.
And I write, this is a shame because that character was not explored thoroughly enough. I mean, what are we doing here?
I was hoping he'd be the hero at the end of the movie.
Seriously.
It's like the salt guy from Home Alone. It's
Yeah,
like he's not so bad.
I wrote gone too soon. I mean, come on. The salt guy, like the pervert janitor is the one who saves them at the
he
end.
stops him with his pokey stick. Not today, ice cream man. Come on, kids, get in my van.
Told you the hierarchy
Yeah,
of the,
right.
of the
Take you home.
molesters.
And then you just cut to a shot of Jan Michael Vincent. They were never seen again.
I don't know what happened. Let's go get an ice cream.
So then Clint Howard invites fake Macaulay in.
Because they're having this interesting bonding moment.
yeah.
Because Small Paul is explaining that he's had to spend a lot of time indoors because he's always sick.
I have the quotes. We are going to play.
Oh, cool.
It's hard to meet friends when you're always stuck on the inside.
I know. I had to stay inside a lot when I was little. Because I was really sick. That's why I'm so small.
I thought that was an amazing line.
Did you cry? Did you tear up a little bit?
I'm teared up now.
I laughed. I thought that was
You're heartless.
incredible.
You're cold.
Incredible.
But he ended it with, "But I'm better now."
Yeah.
But then the trash picker falls out and it's all bloody and they both give each other a look like, oh, fuck. And then basically Clint Howard, cut to Tuna running down the alleyway.
Is Tuna out jogging? Is he working on that pillow?
He's trying to cut pillow weight. And he sees Clint Howard dragging this kid into the ice cream truck. And he's like, oh, fuck, I'm going to hide behind this dumpster. But not really. I'm going to leave my Converse shoe conveniently outside of it.
Label out.
It was labeled out, actually. Now that I think about it.
This is starting to come together.
What are those, All-Stars?
Hey.
Those
Did
are
you shell out for the
maroon-
ones with the nice comfy inside, or did you just save some money and buy an insole?
Those are the maroon ones. And the ice cream
Shit.
man's got the black
Damn.
ones. Oh, they make different colors of those shoes?
They sure do. Hi, I'm Jerry Converse. Walks into the alley.
Hi, I'm Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, I'm Chuck Taylor. Charles Taylor, officially.
But you could call me Chuck. So we go to Clint Howard. He's like, oh, hey, hey, little boy, why don't you come on over and get some ice cream? This kid, by the way, I'm helping him. He got real sick.
But Tuna is one smart fish, and he's not going to come over there.
So he swims away, and Clint Howard goes, hey, you little turds are going to have to learn you can't run from the ice cream man. And he says it way better than I do.
Yeah.
So.
No, you nailed it.
But instead of going home, Tuna runs into some bushes and finds the fucking kid from the start of the movie.
He finds Roger, the one that's missing.
Missing Roger.
And he's like, he has PTSD in a bush?
Yeah. Because he said if he goes home.
PTSD in a bush.
He's just
I
sitting
think it's
there
like
like,
the movie he did before this.
like this is like a Japanese soldier in World War II who didn't think the war ended.
Roger needs his general to come out and tell him to stand down.
He's sitting there balled up and he goes, the ice cream man, he's around here somewhere. He's around here. And Tuna's like, man, shut the fuck up. I'll bring you home, dude. Let's go. And he's like, I don't know. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. So then they go home, right? Tuna's like, I'll tell my dad. He'll know what to do. He talks about hard pack all the time. I found a lot of these tapes down in the basement that say hard pack 1, 2, 5.
I think they got different ice cream flavors written on the labels.
It has all my friends' names on them.
Hard packing 3, soft serve.
So we go to Tuna's house, and this is when Grindbin All-Star Sandal Bergman makes one of her 2 appearances in this movie because she was like, I'll show up for your movie, but one day.
That's all you get.
They're just fighting. So, like, the parents are fighting. She's like, I know you're fucking another lady. And he's like, yeah, well, I drove past somewhere where you work, and you weren't there. And she's like, what?
And she's all, to hell with you. He's like, oh, that's just great.
And they're having a real soap opera fight.
Yeah.
To nice stock music while Tuna's like, hey, guys, almost murdered.
Yeah, ice cream guy is trying to, okay.
Tuna, go to your room. And then the ice cream man rolls up outside the house. Love this. Tuna's dad opens that door.
What the hell is that ice cream dork doing out this late?
Like he's like visibly pissed about it.
Hey, how about try being a cop about this?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. The ice cream man shouldn't be lurking outside your house in the middle of the night.
Nobody fucking thinks this is weird at all. That the
Everyone
ice
just
cream
lets this
man
guy do
is
whatever he wants.
Constantly where he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
fucking like at one point, Small Paul, the reason he got abducted is because he's like, oh, it's like 10 at night. You guys want an ice cream? I hear the sound, and
like,
nobody in the neighborhood's like, what the hell
and they act
is
like
going
that's a normal
on?
thing they do all the time. And they're like, look, let's tone it down on the ice cream a little bit. We're all gonna get diabetes.
Let's place a bet. Right now, we're gonna like play some loud ice cream truck music from our cars and see which one of us gets pulled over first.
Right.
Yeah, the Grindbin coming to a penitentiary review. So, okay. Clint Howard then looks up at Tuna's window, and then they just kind of lock eyes, and that scene ends. Next day, Tuna's mom's taking him to the store before she misses her pinochle game.
I love that detail.
You know the choice that she made?
Then she goes...
P-fuckle?
I could see Sandahl Bergman being like, do I really have to read this line? Like, whatever's in the script, honey. You signed it. It's going to be a long day.
What is it, pinochle?
And then she says something like, you got to get your new shoes because...
Well, she made him leave him outside when he first came in while they were fighting. She's like, hey, shoes outside. You know the rules.
And then, so the other shoes are now covered in hardpack.
He has scooped hardpack into his Converse shoes.
And worms.
And then worms and I guess a little salt and pepper. It's like there's something else sprinkled in there too.
And by the way, this was out all night. This was the hardest ice cream in the movie.
It's the hardest pack of all.
This is like hard sherbet.
Now, the weird thing is the striking of the scene where the mom is standing. She's not acknowledging it. It's in her eye line.
Yeah.
As she turns around to talk to him, it's like, hey, why are your shoes full of ice cream and worms?
Because Sandahl Bergman had no idea. She just said the line. She's like, new shoes, whatever.
Her eyes were closed.
Obviously, she shot this scene first thing in the morning. Then they went to inside, and she shot that other scene. And then they went to the store, which is where we're going next. And Tuna's mom, she leaves him at the grocery store with a list, which I loved. She was like, okay, now you do the shopping.
That kind of took me back. I used to get sent to the store with a list.
But she's still there, is the weirdest thing.
Okay, that's a little weird. Yeah.
And so, like, Tuna runs into the ice cream man, and then the chase is on.
The early 90s when you could chase a child through a weirdly carpeted grocery store. Why is this grocery store carpeted?
Yeah, and why don't
people spill shit at grocery stores?
Why do all the display cases look like pool tables? Did you notice that?
This was definitely not a grocery store.
At first, I thought Tuna hid under a pool table for sale. And
It
I was
did
like,
look
no,
like one.
That's an odd
Because I was trying to flash back in my own mind, like, do I remember that?
The grocery stores were full of carpet.
Yeah.
And they were like, people keep dropping the milk on the carpet and it really smells.
Someone ought to do something about that. And do we need to store the onions on a pool table?
They fit right in the pocket. It's perfect.
Yeah, this was like a pizza place that they rented out for the night, made it look like a grocery store.
So, okay, he shops, and then Clint Howard, like, the chase is on, right?
Well,
Clint
first you have to get that whole shot with the shoes. It's not the same shoes that he saw at the garbage truck, so he didn't know it was the kid, and the kid takes off, and then the chase starts.
By the way,
fucking,
no adult thinks it's weird that a grown fucking ice cream man is chasing a child through a grocery store.
No.
And the kid's like knocking shit over. Like, the kid's bringing attention.
He's trying to give him back the change.
There's a difference. There's a difference between like a normal person chasing a kid and like
Clint Howard
and Steve Buscemi, like right? Like Clint Howard, and Steve Buscemi. Like if you see those two people chasing a kid,
someone's gonna step in and go, "Now hold on."
Yeah.
But that's what Chris said. He's just trying to give him his change. You forgot your change from yesterday, kid.
That's another thing that it's a bit of an issue. Freddy has superpowers and a knife glove. This is just Clint Howard.
Yeah.
Tuna could probably take him. Honestly, Tuna's a husky kid. Like, you can probably tussle with him.
Did you guys see when the dummy shaped like tuna ran into that display of paper towels?
When they threw a tuna dummy?
It was so good. It was like the big pillow. They just threw it into this like IKEA shelf of paper towels, and then it falls right on the head of the
one of the
dummy.
arms popped off.
And then Clint Howard helps him. So, like, he's got the kid captured right there. By the way, what's he going to do with the kid? He's in the middle of the grocery store. Yeah. I mean, in this town, he could carry him out, and people would be like, oh, it must be his.
Neither Hunter or Prey has really considered this and thought this through.
And that has happened before in supermarkets. Kids have been kidnapped, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Just...
It's not unheard of.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe I'd just turn the other way. I'd be like...
Fucking brat, why are you crying? Shut up.
Yeah. I went to Stater Brothers. What do you expect?
Hasn't been the same as the unionized.
I'm sure this is more like a 99-cent store type of thing. Like, people are like,
But Tuna's methods of escape are questionable. Like the way he hides, he's in plain sight at all times. Just like when he tried to hide behind the dumpster, and immediately the ice cream man's like, "Hey, are you hiding over there?"
Yeah, because at one point he just rides a cart.
And the guy pushing the cart doesn't seem to notice that there's a quote-unquote fat kid riding on the
They
cart.
should have like cued into that by showing sparks coming out of the cart as he tried to push it.
First time the shopping cart got a flat.
Yeah.
That happened to me, with those locking carts. That happened to me in the middle of an Albertsons. My cart just locked up in the aisles, and I just kept pushing it anyways. It was like... Because like, fuck you if you're going to break this cart.
I like that you got stubborn about it. You're like, no, fuck you, Kurt.
Yeah, I just walked up to the register with it. I just went...
And that's how you lost supermarket sweep. Throw a bunch of frozen turkeys in his cart.
You got a
and
speed
hoses.
trap.
Oh, and then,
That would have made it better.
So basically, Tuna ends up he
meat
hides in the
department.
fucking worst place ever, which
Yeah,
is the
meat locker.
The meat locker, and
Yeah.
another pervert-looking man comes in and
Yeah.
goes, "I'm not gonna hurt you, young boy."
Fat Rocky.
Which honestly, if that's your opening line, you're not making anything better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hurt you, kid. And he has a giant knife.
Yeah.
And blood all over his clothes. So then basically we cut to later. So his mom comes to pick him up, and there is that great part where the manager's talking to mom. He's like, "Yeah, we just found him in the meat counter. By the way, you're not going to sue, right?"
I love that guy.
I mean, it's kind of his fault he was in the meat thing, So what if that guy touched him? It's his fault he was in there, That it does say it on the wall. We're not responsible for where our employees' hands go if you go back here.
No meat is off limits.
Okay. Basically, his mom comes in and she's like, "What happened to you?" And he's like, "Oh, it's the ice cream man. He's gonna kill everybody. He's gonna kill you. He told me he'd kill me." Yeah. We go to later. The cops show up at Clint Howard's place and they have a warrant
For the giant building that happens to be like next door to where he's living.
So like we learned that Clint Howard he's renting this giant ice cream parlor and he's like fixing it up.
Well, yeah, that's what he says he's doing.
I think
it's
like the original. It's like yeah.
It's bigger on the inside.
But the cops, it's a real Rampart situation because they just start breaking everything.
Yeah. The problem I had with this is like the kids. Okay, so there's two things. The kid that made a complaint, Tuna, and Roger are both now back at home. Roger goes, "Hey, this guy kidnapped me. He put me here." They didn't show any of this stuff, and then they never fucking searched the truck.
Yeah,
They never searched the truck.
Right.
But they searched this whole
empty
ice cream.
building.
They don't really search it. They just run around with fire axes.
Yeah, and they're just breaking
They're
everything.
hitting light bulbs and just putting holes in the wall.
Then he gets all upset because they ruined this newspaper he had framed of the day the ice cream man got killed.
Sure.
And he's like, "This is a collectible."
See, this is where we start to tie into him being the creepy blonde kid in the prologue.
Yeah, I never made that connection.
So he was going to reopen this ice cream parlor at some point, and that was going to be on the wall as something that kids and families would want to see. Oh, I remember that day.
I was trying to put this together. So
That was the day Timothy Hutton showed up.
Yeah, if you take out the beginning of this movie, I just thought it was like a mentor that taught him how to make ice cream.
It is.
Yeah.
But he wasn't old enough to make ice
His
cream.
ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did. I never made the connection.
You're right. It doesn't actually line up. He never taught him shit. He died when he was a child.
Okay,
But it's what inspired him to be an ice cream man. That was the whole well, who's going to make the ice cream?
So basically what happens after
I already made
this
the donuts.
is they destroy... Well, we first get the introduction of the little plant and payoff we're going to have here of the giant mixer.
Yeah.
And he's like...
Oh, man.
When that cop walks up and goes, "Oh, boy, this thing take my hand off.
Oh,
I
man.
put it in there." And he's like, "Yeah, it would. It could kill you."
I use it to chop nuts.
And the cops was like, "Yeah, cool." Then kicks over the butter brickle.
And then he says,
"Do you have any idea how long it takes to make butter brickle?"
and they're like, "Nope," and we don't care.
Moving
And
on.
Then the nurse just shows up and she goes, "Oh, great, you're here. Have you found my dog yet?" And Jan Michael Vincent doesn't give a shit. He just looks at her and goes, "Yeah, hey, lady, we're here because people get real fucking uptight when kids go missing," is what he says. People get real uptight when kids go missing.
And he's not wrong.
No.
People do.
That's when he also references those plastic sunflowers.
Yeah, he says, these daisies are magnificent. How do you do that?
And it's not as a joke. He's
No.
like,
It's very confusing.
This movie was more confusing than and not entertaining.
Right.
So then
and Gregory responds to that question with, "I chop up policemen and use them as fertilizer."
And Jan Michael Vincent's like, "What? Did you say something? I don't give a fuck."
He just gets in the car.
This scene's over. And then
the thing too is that
I gotta go beat my wife.
he just threatened a cop, and the cop was like, and left. That's white privilege for you.
Well, they did just destroy everything he owns.
Yeah. Well, and then, okay, we learn that once the cops leave, Clint Howard has fake Macaulay in the back, like in some hidden room behind the freezer.
I just call it the missing kid room.
And I was just like, why didn't the kid yell while the cops were there?
I don't think the kid's in distress.
No, it's one of those Stockholm Syndrome things where the kid is like, this guy understands me.
He puts fake Macaulay on a freezer, and he's like, I'm not going to hurt you.
He gives him some melted hard pack.
Melted butter brickle from the floor.
Because nothing turns your day around like some melted ice cream from your abductor.
Okay.
I've always said that.
This next scene, wow. So we go to a church. I hope you guys notice this. Master Control is giving a sermon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's fucking giving himself the stigmata.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap.
I wouldn't call that a subtle scene, Mike.
Warden is really...
If you look real close.
He's fucking playing it fast and loose. Like, he showed up to set that day with the stigmata, and they're like, what are you doing?
I mean, the director's like editing a porno on the side. He's just like, whatever you say, buddy.
It ends with the Rocketeers. Like, okay, so the Rocketeers go up to that one kid, Roger, and they're like, hey, you want to be a Rocketeer maybe? Because it looks like we got an opening.
Man, that is some cold shit.
They better get in your application soon because that fourth seat is going to go quick.
Well, I mean,
our stable's filling up, you know.
They need the technical guy, and he has the only computer in town.
It's true.
And so then we go to night. The kids are dressed up like the Hell Squad.
Yeah, what is this? Like, they're all just like Flint from G.I. Joe.
This is their Rocketeer outfit, apparently.
I was hoping they dressed like the Rocketeer, personally, but...
And this is minute 50 when we learn they call themselves the Rocketeers because they fucking love rockets.
They really do.
They've fashioned rockets to their bikes as projectiles.
They're all little Elons.
Yeah, Elon actually did as a boy. He went by the name Tuna.
Before he dropped the weight.
In fact, actually, the original name of the car, Tesla, was going to be Tuna, but they're like, no, I don't think that works. So
I want to pull over and charge my tuna on a long ride.
Maybe go with that scientist name, you know? That guy who invented teleportation, you know?
Shouldn't that have been a line of hats?
We just have to make one hat.
Do you think Elon Musk was just inspired by the Prestige?
He fucked up and got inspired by The Illusionist.
Yeah, that's the one you thought we were talking about. That one.
Well, it's a Deep Impact Armageddon situation.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, they came at the same time.
And that both suck.
Yeah. Oh, how dare you? He was in Deep Impact.
Yeah, no, I thought he was talking about Prestige or...
Oh, no.
The other one. I don't think he made a choice on Armageddon or Deep Impact.
Oh, no, he was saying they both suck.
Because they're both great.
Yeah. Hughes was a charred body in Deep Impact.
I know. It's my favorite role of his.
Oh, okay. I liked when he blew up and Get Shorty.
I die a lot.
He was on that...
You're like Sean Bean.
So the kids are dressed up like the Hell Squad. They go to the cemetery, right? Because they chase after the ice cream man, and he brings...
He's got this huge Jake the Snake bag with him.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it must be Small Paul, even though it's like 10 times the size of Small Paul. He got Big Paul, guys, as soon as... But no, he's apparently brought like a bunch of ice cream cones to a grave.
Yeah.
And we get a long scene of Clint Howard talking to a grave.
He's talking to multiple graves.
Because
he's talking to was it Brer Rabbit's not Brer Rabbit, damn it, what was the character's name in Coonskin?
Oh, Brother Rabbit.
Rabbit. He's talking to Brother Rabbit's parents.
Yeah, he tells one tombstone to mind its own business.
Yeah, that tombstone keeps interrupting apparently.
You know that was a little improv he dropped in there, and he's like,
oh, yeah.
Is that gonna work? And they're like, whatever, Clint, we're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
We're filming another hard pack scene over here.
In this scene, and that's just not necessary for this movie.
Clint, we got 20 more pages to get through. Just hurry it up.
Like he's crying. He's doing a whole like this is something.
So he leaves, and the kids go up, and they see that it's like the dead ice cream man, and he's put a bunch of like ice cream cones on his grave. And I write, I bet the fucking gravekeeper guy, the janitor of this cemetery, is fucking pissed on the regular, being like, fucking again.
Yeah.
I got to clean up goddamn ice cream from this fucking grave.
God damn it.
Fourth time this week.
He hasn't been this mad since Judith Myers got dug up.
So we go to later, and the kids follow the ice cream man to a house, and Racer's gonna find Tuna. Like, basically, Heather gets left alone, right?
Aren't they at like 149 Slot Road?
Yeah, so they're going like Clint Howard goes for a little peekaboo in the window because the town mistress just leaves her. Like, she's like the red light district in Amsterdam, you know? She just like, you can come up to the window at any time and do your shopping.
Yeah,
just park in the rear.
And like Heather sneaks into the ice cream truck and takes all these pictures and everything, and you can see the flash really, really bad because she's obviously it's a dark truck, so she's taking a flash photography, and Clint Howard notices and goes to the truck and like gets in there, and at the same time, like, well, there is that great part where Tuna and Racer are going and they see Jan Michael Vincent and Lee Majors II driving.
They're going down the hill on their bikes, and then they like turn around and then they shoot a rocket at it.
That's where we get to see the rocket fire off the handlebars of a bike.
Yeah, and you go, oh wow, that is actually dangerous.
Yeah,
like this shouldn't be a thing.
That would have been great if they accidentally killed Small Paul. Oh no, it's the ice cream! Oh, just see Small Paul explode,
and they just pedal out of there without saying anything.
Small Paul is the new flavor.
So then they're like telling the cops, are like, you need to like go get Heather and all this. The ice cream man's got her and blah blah blah. Basically, you go to the house. A cop comes to the door. Master Control's like, she's been sleeping all night. He checks on her. She's there. She made it back, but she's got the film. Then we go to next day. A good like 3-minute scene of her trying to get the hard sell to like the hard upsell to buy more development or some shit.
And this photo guy.
Every movie we've been covering like has a useless scene where we have to go through like a transaction.
This is like 3 minutes of the guy going like,
"It's relatable, Chris."
I'm sorry. Do you want like the bigger ones or?
They cut out the kids going to the movies and getting a ticket.
Need that.
And
we do need dealing with the guy at the photo booth.
Okay, how about they introduce before all of this where the hell they got the camera from?
No, we'll learn that because it's a good surprise.
It's a great payoff.
So basically she's like, no, I don't give a fuck. I'll be back in an hour. Cut to those kids looking for quarters under the couch going like, yeah, we need $10 in quarters to get that film. And Tuna's found like 2. And then Racer comes back with a piggy bank and just smashes it on the ground. That's when the brother comes in. Cop Boy comes back.
And he came looking for his camera. And we find out the kid stole his camera and the only roll of film he has.
Yeah, he's like, where's my film?
Or a roll of film that he had been using previously that wasn't full yet.
But I do like that the scene ends with him roughing up Tuna a little bit. Because
he picks him up by the neck like he's got a choke slam.
Yeah. Well, he really hates Tuna for his name.
So much.
Oh, he can't stand Tuna. There was that other
part. Who names a kid Tuna?
We didn't even mention the part where he goes, hey, Tuna, why don't you lose some weight?
Yeah.
So then we go to the ice cream man. He spies on Tuna's dad with the town mistress.
And she sees him spying and gives him a wink.
Yeah, and then, okay, Tuna's dad tries to leave.
But the ice cream truck's blocking him.
Yeah. He opens that back door to the ice cream truck and gets a fucking waffle iron to the face. That was great.
That was a big budget effect for this film. It's like glowing red and like...
Yeah, a big budget, all $5 at the Goodwill.
Yeah.
Look, you heat it up, it turns red.
Exactly.
It works. I'll just run at the camera with it real quick.
But this is great, though. So he knocks on the mistress's door, and she's just like, oh, see, you brought my hot pack. And we think we're going to be starting another one of his movies. But no, Clint Howard's brought something special.
Yeah, before we see that, though, she makes a line. She says, we should swap recipes. A creamsicle or a custard pie. And I'm like, that's the grossest line in this movie. Like, that's a bit much. I don't need that, lady.
Again, the way the movie's rated R is the phrase custard pie. Well, I'm not cutting that out. I will not. I will not bend.
That is the line I wrote for this movie.
I need to keep my dignity.
What is your feelings on Boston cream pie?
I love it.
What's something special that he brings?
Oh, a big ass cone, waffle cone with this man's head inside of it.
With David Naughton's head in a waffle cone.
It is like what?
It's
about
amazing.
4 feet tall.
Yeah, it's like a Tim Allen sized head. It's not to scale.
That is the thing in this movie. Every time you see a severed head, it's way too damn big.
Nothing's to scale. Yeah.
And then we go to the cops and they're like, hey, we can't find anything wrong with that ice cream man, but we think that nurse is real weird. Go to the photo store. Okay, so here's the thing. The brother goes to the store with his girlfriend to pick up the pictures. And apparently, at 1 hour photo places, they develop the pictures in the window.
Yeah.
They used to do that.
So
that was a thing.
You see pictures of him. Well, we did the movie Dogs.
Yeah,
they're doing it
doggy style, man.
The way dogs do, right in the window.
How much is that doggy in the window?
By the way, these were like borderline obscene pictures.
I think they were actual pictures.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy.
I think our director dug into the catalog. I got some of that. Don't worry.
I was like, I do not remember this part of that movie. Wow.
I wonder if we can find those two actors if they were porn stars.
This is the other weird thing. The girlfriend sees the pictures of the ice cream man truck.
Yeah.
That will never get referenced.
No, it does. It gets referenced in a way to where the boyfriend's going to help, but he's not going to call the cops because he is a cop in his own head.
Yeah, so
he can handle this.
So he just didn't go to the cops, but they saw the pictures. They know there's proof.
Yeah.
So now Judge Dredd has deemed him guilty.
So we'll get to that really soon. The other thing you see is Clint and fake Macaulay are now bonding, making ice cream together.
It's sweet.
But then we go to cops. Okay, this is probably the best fucking scene in the movie.
This is the movie I wanted.
Jan Michael Vincent just fucking gave up on life in the middle of this scene, and it is so obvious, and it is incredible.
Yeah.
They show up to a mental hospital and everybody's crazy, and like at some point they just start wandering the halls of the mental hospital.
And this shit is like a low rent Halloween haunted attraction.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like the Forever 21 shut down in a strip mall, and they have this area for a couple weeks, so we're just gonna dress up like insane people and
$3 and it goes to football jerseys for the high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the lowest rent haunted house.
Jan Michael Vincent walks through this like a guy walking through one of those haunted attractions. Like, yeah, this wasn't as good as I hoped.
You see him walk into the scene and his face immediately goes, oh no. It was like this was his first day on set and he's like, oh fuck me.
Like, yeah, when a bunch of crazy people swarm in like zombies, you expect a reaction other than, Christ.
All the mental patients kind of go after them all slow and everything.
They're boogity booing all over the place as best as they can.
The cops for some reason split up.
They got split up because the patients,
by choice.
Yeah, they got by choice, but then the patients started moving all the exits.
So yeah, and they go, we'll be better off alone. Meet you at the car. And Lee Majors II is trying.
Elihu Lee Majors.
He's trying. He punches a guy. He's like kind of running around. He's like, oh
this
my
is his
God,
big chance, man.
This is fucking crazy. And then he just walks right out the door. Right after a guy says nobody ever leaves. Yeah. And then he goes, oh, well, I will.
That's cool. Bye.
We cut to Jan Michael Vincent just walking down a hallway as people try to touch him. And he just basically goes like, don't touch me.
I told you not to touch me.
Do not fucking touch me.
No one's allowed to touch me.
It's like Mark Summers and like the set of Double Dare, and people starting to touch him. He just pulls out his gun and starts shooting them all.
I've never seen a man walk slower.
Yeah.
Like this, he's walking slower than the mental patient.
He's walking like a cartoon character with a rain cloud over him.
He just walks out of this like, oh my God, I'm in this movie. Then they're like, all right, Jan, take out your gun. And he just kind of slowly takes out his gun and shoots it at a guy. This is the best scene I've ever seen in any movie, though. Lee Majors II books it to the fucking car. He grabs the radio. He's like, oh my God, we're being attacked. Blah, blah, blah. And he gets in the car, and Jan Michael Vincent just walks out the front door. And the mental patients are just following him down the stairs, like kind of petting his hair, like you're at like a Not Scary Farm or something, which is like a local haunted house.
You signed the waiver. We're allowed to touch you, but we're not going to get rough.
Yeah. And he's just like, ugh. He doesn't even run to the car. He just walks, slowly opens the door, gets in, and then they drive away.
And they're like slapping the hood. We're trying to do the Halloween thing.
Mm-hmm. This was so, they're like, all right, Jan, you're going to run down this hall. And he goes, first of all, it's Jan Michael. Mr. Vincent to you.
Second of all, it's Jan Michael.
Second, it doesn't fucking say anything about running in that contract. I don't run. So, no.
You know, last time I checked, I didn't even get a pair of Converse.
Yeah.
You want me to run?
How am I going to run without my Chucks, huh? And they go, well, it's going to look really dumb if a bunch of mental patients are just petting you slowly as you walk down a hallway. And he goes, well, I don't fucking care.
He's like, yeah, that's gonna. And then just...
You told me it was a Howard brother when I signed on to this movie. You didn't say it was Clint. So, fuck you, I'm walking. This is like a real Ironside situation. Like, it would have been great if Jan Michael Vincent was just like, no, I'm going to have to be sitting for this movie. So if you got a wheelchair.
Can the ice cream man shank me with a cone at the beginning of the movie?
Shake my body double with a... Yeah. You mean I don't have a body double?
Okay, so my character has history with the ice cream man. I was shanked with a cone before the events of this movie.
Okay, by the way, when Harry, what's his name? Lee Majors II says over the radio, he says this is Riverside. And I was like, I am not surprised by any of this.
Yeah.
It all makes sense
not
now.
Fucking surprised.
All that dirt. All creepy ice cream men.
Have you been to Riverside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Driven right through it.
Yeah. They got a lot of ice cream men.
I've been through Riverside.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yep.
Good hard pack.
Anytime like I'm looking on
World
Craigslist and someone has something I need and it's a good price, I'm like, oh look, Riverside. Nope.
Yep. There's a whole lot of pinwheels people thinking are flowers.
Oh, trust me, they call it hard pack in Riverside. They do. And I won't say no thanks. I won't say we're just kidding, Riverside. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Riverside.
Man.
Fuck you.
We lost our half a listener in Riverside.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, California ends at the coast.
That's like you have to pay to get out of Riverside and take the toll road out.
Okay,
Yep.
So then we basically go like Clint Howard catches up to the kids on their bikes and he says, "Trolling for tuna," as he grabs tuna, which was a great line.
Tuna, how do you fuck this up? It's an ice cream truck. Why did you ride so close to the side door?
I know. Yeah, he did. He was like, "Oh no, it's like a magnet."
He's got a tractor beam.
And then he throws tuna in the ice cream freezer and he says, "Your ice cream."
And that is a weak fucking line,
That's
dude.
terrible.
Like,
Did he stop to do that?
I think so.
I think he set the truck on autopilot.
Yeah.
Because it's still moving.
But yeah, like, no, dude, you're frozen fish. Like, come on, it's not that hard.
Someone's gonna get creamed.
I know,
Anything
he
would have
just
been better.
had
Anything.
trolling for tuna. Come on.
Yeah.
He could even made like a sushi joke.
This is why no one paid for your sequel, dude. I
So
mean, even
then-
the ginger dead man had better lines than this.
This is great, though. We go to Racer's house, and the cop brother's like, finally. Because he's like, we don't have any evidence. I guess they'll never reference those fucking pictures. And he says, but it's okay, because this is a good chance for me to rough him up. And the girlfriend says, you're not a cop. And he goes, Janet, I have the gun. The rest will follow. Can you imagine on his first day for the application, he goes, well, just so you know, I took care of that ice cream man, that local ice cream man. I'm the one who roughed him up. Used my gun.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I
Here's
was
my
a
newspaper framed.
I was a concerned citizen, so I expect my badge. And I'm sure I'll be put on the beat real soon here in Riverside.
That's how it works.
Trust me, that's how they get hired.
It's like an old Western. So you got deputized because you shot the guy.
Well, that's Riverside PD.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It is the Wild West over there.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then he ends the scene by going, let's just go help the fat kid.
He can't stop taking shots at tuna.
Then we go back to like the ice cream palace and like
This fucking scene with where he's going down the hallway, like the brother goes into the ice cream palace and he's going down the hallway and he sees like these framed pictures, and then we pass by Clint Howard with a frame.
yeah, but it's great because we just cut back out to the car with the kids and the girlfriend, and then the brother comes back out and sits in the car, and Clint Howard's dressed as the brother and just turns over and goes, "Hiya, honey!"
Yeah.
And everybody flips out, and then he shoves an ice cream scoop in her chin and says, "That's what I call a brain freeze."
Yeah.
That was a great one-liner, I thought.
Had he done anything to her brain?
Oh, come on.
I thought he
don't
ice
mean-
picked it or something.
I thought so too, but it's something under the soft part of her chin.
Well, that's because they obviously couldn't get the effect for the head. They
Yeah.
wouldn't. She
Right.
wouldn't let her. She was like, "You're not touching my hair."
Yeah. You're not getting casts in my face. God knows what you're gonna do with it.
They come out with the clippers, and they're like, "All right, well, you ready for?" She's like, "What? What are you doing?" And they're like, "No, we got to shave your head where the thing's going." And
Yeah.
she's like, "No."
Jan Michael's off camera shaking his head like, you don't have to do shit for them.
Okay, so then Jan Michaels shows up, by the way, and they're just like, "Oh, I think there's something going on." And then the ice cream man, he like has tuna in that truck at one point, and he starts shoving ice cream into his mouth, which is the most disturbing thing I think in
Yeah.
this movie is watching him force feed tuna ice cream.
Oh God.
Just because I can imagine him really doing that to kids.
But then he like knocks out the cops, and then he chases the kids around
It's a weird way he gets the jump on them. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, they somehow can't find him inside his ice cream truck, and then he pops up on the roof of the truck.
Yeah, with that trap door.
He comes flying off like Macho Man Randy Savage.
But then the kids walk around like some, I don't know, abandoned car lot behind this store.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the best parts, is all of a sudden you just hear Clint Howard in a fake voice go, "Hey, kids, I'm a cop." And a fucking head pops up being marionetted by an ice cream scoop.
And the kids actually think it's a real head for a second.
Yeah.
And then Clint Howard walks up and he's got 2 of them, and now he's doing a type 5 with 2 heads on ice cream
And
scoops.
these kids could easily be running away while he is not looking at them and doing his dumb puppet show, but instead they stand there like, what's this jazz?
And how dare you call this a tight 5? Because it is a loose 8.
He needs to work this down to a tight 5. He needs to hit the Laugh Factory on Tuesday and Thursday. And
It goes on way too long.
Get the shit
You
dialed in.
shouldn't have opened with this. Yeah.
So basically,
We don't need prop comedy.
it ends with fake Macaulay turning on the ice cream man.
That little fucking traitor. He gave him Butterbrickle.
And he leads him into the ice cream mixer deal, the nut chopper, by like basically taking the picture off the wall and pretending he's the...
and just pulling like a clue.
Yeah.
Like a mystery house.
And then he gets him in the thing and he says, "Who's the Pied Piper now, ice cream dick?"
Yeah.
By the thing, you mean the mixer.
Yeah.
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 It's an audio podcast.
Then we go to morning.
He does the thing, you know.
Okay, this is great, though. We go to morning. The cops are here, and Jan Michael Vincent has apparently been awoken from a sleep because the nurse walks up to him. She goes, "Have you found my dog?" And he just looks at her.
And doesn't even acknowledge it.
He fucking cocks his gun at her. He just goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Last day.
Yeah.
Champagne rap, bitch. And then we go to, okay, this is it. The last scene in this whole movie is another day. The Rocketeers, they're still dressed like the Hell Squad. They meet the kid from the beginning of the movie, give him his honorary Rocketeer, Small Paul's bloody hat. This is when you also find that Tuna is thin, and we get the only mention is one kid taps him on the belly, and he goes, "Thanks." He forgot the pillow that day.
Thanks for not pretending you're a fat kid anymore. That was getting weird.
Either he forgot the pillow, or it was all set up to just, it's going to kill when everybody
Tuna's
realizes
turning
he's
his life
dead.
around.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And you go, "Where's fake Macaulay?" Nobody knows.
No, they say, "Where do you think? He's in therapy."
Boom, boom, boom. We go to a dark room with a single light source as fake Macaulay is churning an ice cream maker.
Oh, man. It's like he's working at Jack in the Box.
I thought it was a Jack in the Box.
No, he's making ice cream.
Oh, God damn
little
it.
tiny ice cream
fuck
crank.
that.
Yeah, little Debbie.
It's like the
ice cream
teaser
maker.
trailer for Nightmare 3.
Yeah.
And then he just looks up at the camera, smiles, freeze
Freeze frame, roll
credits.
credits.
You hear the ice cream truck music.
Oh, no, you hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme.
All right, so recommendations?
No. God, this is an hour, 2 hours of a podcast of a terrible movie.
That's a no for me, dog. It's pitchy. I can't recommend it, honestly. It's got a couple moments that are kind of memorable, but it's not really worth the time.
It would be hard to do even as a Midnight Madness. It's hard to make an excuse to gather your good friends, get a little wasted, and sit through this. And like, I don't know. I just don't foresee that happening.
Man,
I think you're all wrong.
You're all alone in your ice cream truck, Mike.
1,000% recommend.
Yeah.
Definitely watch this, Grindbin listeners, and tell me that I'm right, because I know I am. This movie is way better than Dogs.
Man,
I don't have like nostalgia for Dogs. Like I didn't come in and say, "Oh, it's the greatest thing ever."
No,
this is like House 2.
This
is
is
like House 2 for you. You're like, I don't get it. Maybe you saw it as a kid. You saw this as a kid, and you're loving it.
Hughes.
And that's your thing.
This or House 2? You have to watch one.
House 2.
Oh my God.
House 2.
Well, this
1,000%,
movie
just 'cause
is
the end.
bad, but it's bad in like the best way, because it's just so fucking terrible. It's like one of these.
Well, you're
90s,
absolutely right about that, Mike.
90s direct-to-video movies. It reminds me of Mikey or other movies like that. It's just horrible.
There's two types of bad. For me, there's good bad, and then there's bad waste of time bad. This is that one.
Well, I disagree.
That's fine.
I think it's good bad for sure.
Yeah.
Clint Howard is a murderous ice cream man.
Oh, on paper, I'm on board.
Putting heads as puppets. I love it.
Yeah.
I think we could revisit this movie and redo it, and it'd be a lot better.
Because honestly, I feel it's too much in some areas and not enough in others.
Yeah,
it never quite hits the sweet spot.
Very lopsided.
It feels like it's a movie directed by a guy who directed pornos his whole life. And like at the end of Ed Wood, when he sits in that theater with that smile on his face and he goes, "This is the one they'll remember me by."
Yeah.
That's exactly what this director said. He was like, "This is the one they'll remember me by."
It just seemed
Not
like
intercourse with the vampire.
Yeah, the director just like every time he got to the end of the scene and he didn't have a cum shot, he had nothing to end on.
It's true.
It's just one of the most bizarre movies. It is like bordering on becoming a porno at many moments. It has children in it, which makes it very disturbing. The term hardpack's used a lot, which we don't know what that means.
I'm sure Stephen King's upset he didn't come up with this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure he thinks he did while he was laid up in the hospital.
Did you hear that sound, though?
Oh, I better get my ones out.
How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in this, Bobby?
Yeah, well, obviously, with Gregory having gone in the mixer, there's a void that needs to be filled, and I think a new ice cream truck comes by. In this case, an ice cream van.
Oh boy!
So the Straight Arrow comes around the corner with a bunch of stickers on the side of Bomb Pops and Choco Tacos and every good thing, and they pull up outside room 149. No one's coming out of that, but a neighbor comes out, another attractive woman, and you hear from inside the dark van, "Hey, you like hardpack? We got a new flavor. It's called Roofie Road."
Hughes, what do you think?
I have barely anything like that. I would like to see them in the mental ward, and just like we just see them like peeling somebody's skin on a very fast flash into like one of the rooms.
Yeah,
I want to hear like an ice cream truck rendition of the song of Chevy Van.
Man, can you do that one for us?
I probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. Whoop. Yes. Whoops.
Whoops.
What do you think?
I think it would be like a quick flash cameo thing where you see inside where he opens up his ice cream chest, and there's just like a small vat, and it's called orange poof, and it's just like the orange hair sticking out of like this ice cream covered with it.
The orange hair, like he murdered Bobby. It's
a
freezer bird.
Yeah, and it's like a freezer burned poof hair sticking out. It's all frozen and icicles. And then there's another one where it just says fat guy, and it's DeVito's head, like wide open, gapped,
like one of the puppet heads.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know the dicks were also in there at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are the Bomb Pops.
I'm going to go a little bit different. I think it kind of follows Jan Michael Vincent.
Oh.
And I really think that all of a sudden they got a call on their radio and they go, "There's been an overturned van over around Malibu." And Jan Michael and his partner, they got to show up to their next case, which is the turned over Straight Arrow at the end of the van. They got to go clean this mess up. So those boys were racing, and that waterbed popped everywhere. Not hard packed enough, you know. And I'd just like to see Jan Michael Vincent taking police notes while Bobby explains to him. He's like, yeah, that's fucking great. We've gotten a lot of complaints about women saying they've been raped outside of a pizza parlor, but I really don't give a fuck, so fuck it. I'm done.
Does the bottom of the pad that he's writing on in big letters, underlined 3 times, say bigger than Dugan?
Yes, I've heard that before. Bigger than Dugan, sir. Thank you. Did you get that part now? Did you B-I-G-G-E-R? Do you need to spell in it Dugan? Yeah, I got it, kid. I got it. And then Jan Michael Vincent just walks off the set, sticks a gun in his mouth. And, good night, everybody. That was Airwolf. Well, thanks for joining us. You can join us on our Patreon to hear a little bit more of the Grindbin. We definitely have one mini bin up there by now. If we don't already, we'll have our film commentary up there, our first one, and we have another one we have to do as well. You can join our Patreon for as little as $2 a month and get all this extra stuff, as well as vote on upcoming movies, because we're going to have a listener request pick every fucking month. And boy, that's going to get dangerous. So we'll see.
We're going on a journey, fellas.
Yeah. So if you're part of the Patreon, you get to be a part of that. So please be gentle. No more dogs. No more tentacles.
And be gentle. It's our first time.
Yes. Don't hard pack it too hard. You know? You can find us, grindhousefilm.com, Twitter @grindpod, Instagram, Grindbin Podcast, Facebook, Grindbin Podcast. Anybody got to say anything?
Close it up.
Bobby, hard pack it in.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
ain't got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
You